right-hand side. Incidentally, both sets of fans at the moment have their own version of this song. The Gunners fans will sing 1-0 to the Arsenal. I don't know what the Parma fans are singing, but it's the same tune.
Arsenal fans have been singing since they started to dribble in on Monday night in the pubs and clubs. There are a lot of English-style pubs in Copenhagen. They've lapped it up, and they've lapped up the local brew, Tennant's Pilsner Lager, with a difference, of course. A very friendly and accommodating city with its wide open spaces and tree-lined avenues and bronze statues. The Tivoli Gardens have welcomed them. John Jensen has had a tremendous welcome in the commentary positions down below us at the front of what is now the main stand, the A stand as it's called. We think royalty will be here as well tonight. Not Queen Margaret II, she's been queen here for the last 22 years, but Prince Frederick, the Crown Prince, we believe, is going to be here. He's a football nut. When they won the European Championship in 1992, the first person into the Danish dressing rooms to sup an ale or two after that was Crown Prince Frederick. He's going to be here tonight as well to see who'll win the European Cup Winners' Cup final, Arsenal or Parma. Arsenal 4th in the English League, Parma 5th in the Italian League. Arsenal 18 wins from their 41 games, 17 draws. Parma 17 wins from their 34 games, 7 draws. They've scored 50 league goals this season, and Arsenal have scored 3 more than that. Tony Adams is down in the tunnel area behind the referee Václav Krondl of the Czech Republic. His 2 linesmen Josef Zvonic and Otakar Skractik. He's down there as well, the famous Otakar Skractik. And out come the 2 teams now then. Arsenal led by their own captain Marvel, Tony Adams, and Parma led out by their skipper as well at the front of the line. Out they come, yellow shirts with navy blue epaulets, blue trim to the yellow shorts, blue trim to the yellow socks as Lorenzo Minotti, the skipper, leads them out. Goalkeeper Luca Bucci springs and jumps next to him. Long shaggy hair and 5 o'clock shadow turned to a beard. And the pink flares are illuminated at the Parma end of the ground, and smoke billows across the lush velveteen green of the Andreas Parken Stadium as the 2 sides are announced to the supporters here. The elongated, removable tunnel is stretched back inwards beneath us. The Arsenal team is read out. Dave Seaman in goal, Lee Dixon, Steve Bold, Tony Adams and Nigel Winterburn. Kevin Campbell, Ian Selly, Steve Morrell, Paul Davis in Paul Merson. In a midfield of 5 of sorts, and Alan Smith, the lone front runner. The Arsenal team, some of them crouch for a photograph. The rest stand behind. Alan Smith, ball in hand. So too the Parma players pose for their photographs. They're almost lost in this great plume of smoke from those pink fluorescent flares. They'll break any second now. After the presentation, I would have thought the referee is down there. Parma lining up to my left-hand side. Technically, they're the away team here, so they line up on the left-hand side. Don't ask me why. It's a Danish tradition, apparently. The Arsenal flags are raised once more away to my left-hand side. Paul Merson wheels his arms. Tony Adams prepares to flip the coin with Lorenzo Minotti. Who are Arsenal scared about? Julian Waters.
Well, the Gunners fans, obviously, it's the well-known Swede, it's the cherubic Swede, it's Thomas Brolin. He's a brilliantly talented player. We all know what he did to England in the European Championships in Sweden, and they won't want to be giving him any room at all. I think they'll be looking out for either Selly or perhaps Davis to be keeping very close to him when he makes inroads into Gunners territory. But really, the Arsenal fans are having a fantastic party. Let's hope they get the win to cap it off.
The Arsenal players have moved to their right-hand side to warm up. They were misled. They should have gone and waved to the Parma fans as the Parma players went down and waved to the Arsenal fans. They now change ends then. Parma, who line up Luca Bucci in goal, only 5'9", Lorenzo Minotti sweeping behind the markers, Nesta Sensini, Luigi Apolloni. Midfield, Antonio Benerivo, a new Italian regular and attacking right back. Gabriele Pin, Massimo Crippa and Alberto Di Chiara. Gianfranco Zola and Thomas Brolin to float dangerously behind Faustino Aspria. It'll be Parma kicking off from right to left in this first half on Capital Goal. 15:48 a.m. with Terence Pilsner the lager with a difference. The referee from the Czech Republic says no, it's going to be Arsenal to kick off, and the yellow-shirted Parma players move back. Only one win in their last 6 league games. They tailed away disappointingly at the end of the campaign. Arsenal, 1 defeat in 18, have the better form. In the form book, it goes out of the window tonight on a hazy grey evening on a perfect pitch as the breeze dies, as the temperature rises, as Arsenal in red shirts and white sleeves and white shorts and red socks prepare to get us off and underway. And we're off and underway in the 1994 European Cup Winners' Cup Final. The ball slapped down the line, and immediately Kevin Campbell chases for it on this near side, and Luigi Apolloni with the ginger hair comes across and forces Campbell's error to throw in. Taken quickly, comes through to Thomas Brolin inside the Arsenal half, slips it through to Asprilla, getting beyond the back four, and Steve Bold stretches out a foot. The man called up to the England B squad today, and slides it away, and Lee Dixon bends it up towards the halfway line, where Ian Shelley comes very, very quickly in with a challenge on Massimo Cripa. It's back inside the Parma half, and Luca Bucci taps it away. And here then is Lorenzo Minotti to bring it away. Join Parma on a free transfer, would you believe, from Cesena. Up they go to Asprilla, flicking it wide as a free kick given for a challenge on the dangerous Faustino Asprilla. Began playing street football at the age of 8 with his brothers and sisters from West Colombia. Watch out for him in the World Cup finals this summer on Capital Goal. It's a free kick won by the Quicksilver Colombian. It's a free kick that'll be taken by Gianfranco Zola. Square it goes to Gabriele Pin. Will he go wide towards Antonio Benarivo on the far side? No, he gets it back again. Spins inside right position, halfway inside the Arsenal half. Now finds Benarivo, this attacking fullback. Slips it back then to Minotti, the sweeper. Minotti comes square towards Luigi Apolloni. Takes on Kevin Campbell. Pushes it through inside left position. Beautiful skills by Brolin. Drags it back from Ian Shelley. Taps it forward then towards the danger man Asprilla again. Comes to Gabriele Pin, slightly left-hand side of the midfield. Here it is, moving from the back is Nestor Sensini into the Arsenal box, and a first early touch for Dave Seaman.
Well, certainly a very dangerous time just a few minutes ago there, because Asprilla was almost through, and it was a tremendous tackle by Stevie Bold. I was a little bit disappointed by the Arsenal back four. They seemed to be a little bit asleep. They didn't look as though they were completely concentrating, and little Brolin came deep, slipped the ball through in between the two centre halves, and then Stevie Bold read the situation. Great tackle to get it away. But already the Italians have looked good. I know the game's only started a couple of minutes, but they've got the ball down, passed it well, accurately, and they look as though they've started off the game very well. And
Lorenzo Minotti, this tough tackling hard sweeper, born in Cesena, will get it away downfield. One in the air by Tony Adams, heads it back through the middle. There's Pin in the anchor midfield central role for Parma, just slipping it back. Apolloni finds Minotti again. Here he comes out of the back then, joined his local club Cesena as a teenager. Finds the flying figure of Massimo Cripa, slips it up to Asprilla, trying to turn it wide on the far side from in front of an enormous Dorchester Union jack, but Nigel Winterburn intercepted for Arsenal, follows through and nearly catches Pin on the far side, gets the block challenge in, throw in taken by Gabriele Pin to Asprilla, who takes it nicely on his right thigh, slips it back towards that far side from me, but Paul Merson dovetailing for Arsenal, pushes it back then to Steve Bold, and Bold goes into his penalty area. I hope you can hear the raucous din of the Andreas Parken Stadium, built in 1911 to the north of the city centre of Copenhagen, as it cuts clear through the airways back to home in Blighty on Capital Gold on 15:48 a.m. 3 minutes played 0-0. Throw in taken then by Apolloni down the line. It's a throw back to Arsenal though. It was wasted on this near side, and it'll be a throw in taken by Lee Dixon. He's got Selly square. He finds Paul Davis, this quietly spoken but articulate footballing midfield player. Not on that occasion though. And his Cripa square across to Antonio Benarivo, man of the match in last season's European Cup Winners' Cup final at Wembley. Tanking into the Arsenal half, finds Brolin's charge! And Brolin heads just over the bar in the first chance of the game. Goes the way of Parma, the holders. Arsenal sluggish and sleepy at the back. Julian Waters keeping a close eye on the left-hand end.
Well, they just don't know what to do with Thomas Brolin, do they? The fans are absolutely harding the mouths already 2 or 3 times in what only some 4 minutes of play. Nobody seems to be picking it up, and he's almost running at will into the heart of the Arsenal area.
The Capital Goal team covering all corners of the Adriatic Stadium with the most committed coverage right here. The only radio station to give you the whole of the route to the Adriatic. Roberto Nesta Sansini comes across to clear then his lines for Parma. Played in Italy in the 1990 World Cup finals. Up towards Aspria. Ball goes in with a challenge. Then comes and commits himself. Nearly caught Pin. I think he did catch him. He did. Referee playing on though. Not now he isn't, because Di Chiara goes down under the effects of a challenge on this near side from Selly. It'll be a free kick. Arsenal beginning to dig in the challenges earlier on though. Selly it was who brought down Alberto Di Chiara. Once with Roma. Made his debut some 12 years ago now. Here is Crippa again, back towards Sensini. 18 international caps for Argentina, but none since those World Cup finals of Italia 90. Menotti just over the halfway line to Gabriele Pin. Stabs it for De Brolin, coming off his man Davis. Back to Pin, he finds slightly left of the centre circle again, Lorenzo Menotti. Menotti sweeps wide to the left-hand side, Di Chiara. Di Chiara finds Pin, looks for Aspria with a little stab pass. Bold cuts it out, tries to spin it away. It's intercepted with a header over the top, but Aspria was caught. The Arsenal fans rise and bait Aspria at that end, which isn't particularly pleasant to see, and Faustino Aspria moves away. Had a marvellous Cup Winners' Cup campaign last season, 4 goals in 6 games. Went home, gashed his leg, was out of the final, had to stay on the substitutes bench. We're seeing close-ups here in the stadium of Nevio Scala, the manager from Padova, 46 years of age now. He's transformed Parma's history really, as Arsenal move away on the right hand side, halfway inside the Parma half. Alan Smith picks it up, 0-0 on Capital Goal. We've been playing now 5.5 minutes. Smith slips it to Selly. Selly, the block challenge goes in and by Pin. He's won a free kick here, young Ian Selly. Just think he played in the Wembley final for Arsenal against Sheffield Wednesday in the Coca-Cola. He was on the bench for the FA Cup final. He's in a European Cup Winners' Cup. He's only 19. He's the envy of every North London teenager, unless you're a Spurs fan. Capital Goal rooting for them at Oldham tomorrow at Boundary Park. The Spurs will stay up, I'm sure. Tonight belongs to Arsenal, and it's Paul Davis with a free kick for the Gunners, 5 yards in. Davis dummies and feints to take it early. Inside the boxes, Smith. Inside the boxes, Adams. It's a long way around the back. Ball was in there as well. It's come off the defender, and it's a corner kick, the first corner of the game. And this is where Arsenal will be dangerous. I looked through my notes in the last couple of days. I said to Frank McKinnon, but they're a short team, Parma. He said, are you sure? They got 4 6-footers in there. We wait to see, though, as they have the corner kick on the left-hand side. The Magic Man takes it and bends it in. Campbell with a back header. Oh, it's just wide of the far post. And away for a goal kick, and so very, very close. Your end, Steve Wilson.
It certainly was. It was probably about 1.5 yards wide of the left-hand upright down in front of me, where the Parma fans are standing, their hearts in their mouths. This time they've been very confident with their early start to the game, but the Gunners nearly caught them out.
Yeah, they certainly did. That was the nearest they've came by a long way. It was so close, I felt from here. It was Stevie Bold missed it at the near post, and all the Parma defenders did as well, and Campbell nearly managed to get the header into the goal.
Merson now, 5 yards outside the Parma penalty area, slips it wide to Winterburn, under pressure from Antonio Benarivo. Winterburn keeps it in possession, spins it through to Merson, nice chop ball wide again. Morrow gets the splash cross in, and Luca Bucci comes to claim, the man who replaced Claudio Taffarel, the great Brazilian international, and booms it away downfield, looking for Aspria, who took a tumble against Tony Adams, picked himself up, nearly won it back again. Dixon though to Selly, and he finds Stephen Morrow, the Coca-Cola Cup final hero against Sheffield Wednesday. Wide towards Winterburn, Arsenal playing cleverly here, patiently, and using the ball well. The Alan Smith, who's drifted away on the far side, finds Selly in support, and here's Davis again to his right hand side. Has Morrow behind him, or Winterburn to his left. He spins 360 degrees and finds Winterburn for the longer ball to the edge of the penalty area, cut out by Sensini's head. It drops back to the bouldering figure of Stephen Morrow, this pale-faced 24-year-old from Belfast who made his debut in the sunshine of Miami against Independiente in that pre-season tournament a few years ago. And again Parma collected. It's the ginger figure of Luigi Apolloni, born from Frascati, birthday a couple of years ago. Finds Gabriele, a couple of days ago I should say, finds Gabriele Pin. Pin stabs wide to an inside left position, out towards the figure of Crippa. Crippa fell. Pin getting a lot of space early on, using it intelligently. Arsenal will need to close on him. It's a free kick taken then in the midfield by Pin, short, and again pushed through, this time by Gianfranco Zola, looking for Brolin. The speed there, the darting pass forward, but it didn't get through to Brolin, who already is moving around impishly on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. The throw in short though, and yanked back to Crippa on the left hand side. A high swirling cross, Merson's underneath it. Did Aspria leap at Merson? No free kick given, and Aspria Asprilla, the Colombian, picks it up and sets off inside his man and drills the shot, and it's blocked by Steve Bold and bounces back to Creeper, centre midfield. Creeper wide at 0-0 on Capital Goal with 9 minutes played, and Arsenal cut it out and give away possession immediately with Merson. So it's collected back in the midfield by Creeper then, and wide towards the right, and there's Antonio Benarivo. Up towards the figure of Asprilla. Bold says he dived. Tony Adams will come forward now, and there's Tony Adams famous. He dived, left little motion with his hands, moved forward and pushing in a sort of a rabbit, startled rabbit sitting up pose. Tony Adams there as he goes back into his penalty area and stalks hands on hips and take up the marking duties on Nestor Roberto Sensini, who scored the winner against Benfica in the semi-final second leg just a couple of weeks ago. It's a free kick now then to Parma, 10 yards outside the Arsenal penalty area. 2 men inside that Arsenal wall, and Parma sending up men from the back. Up comes Alberto Di Chiara. It's going to be Menotti with it though, and he bends it low, he bends it flat, he bends it wide, but they have to watch his free kicks, Frank McClintock.
Yeah, they can't give any silly free kicks away outside the box. I was talking to George Graham about that before the game. He's made his players very aware of that. Keep calm. That was a bit of a dive by Asprilla there. He really made a meal of it, and the referee swallowed it, and that's why Tony Adams and Steve Bold were a little bit disappointed. But Arsenal have settled down after, I think, a shaky first 5 minutes. Got that back header in with Kevin Campbell, have kept the ball quite well in little periods there between 3 and 4 passes. That's the way. You cannot give the ball away too easily against a team of this class. But the one thing that bothers me a little bit is Pin has been absolutely free. He sits just in front of the back four. He gets the ball so often, and then one of the markers in midfield leaves their own man, goes towards him, but before he gets there, he releases the ball, and that's what's been causing the Arsenal team problems.
Just over the first 10 minutes played in the 94 European Cup final on Capital Goal. My 100th commentary of the season, by the way, tonight. Lorenzo Menotti square and away towards Nestor Sensini, who gives it back again to his sweeper, scored after 9 minutes of last year's final against the Belgians of Royal Antwerp. It's Brolin chipping wide towards Nigel Winterburn. Winterburn clears it away to Selly. Selly chops it back inside his own penalty area, and across scuttles Dave Seaman to clear it away. Seaman clears down this near side then, and out of play it goes. It seems to me that Paul Davis and Ian Selly have swapped roles early on. Davis then seemed early on he was destined to mark Brolin. Tell us what's happened there, Frank.
Well, Selly looks as though he's gone and picked up Pin, the guy I was saying that was free all the time. I think George must have obviously spotted that as well. He's put Selly on him. He's brought Paul Davis over to the right hand side to mark Cripper, and hopefully that will tie people down a little bit more.
It's Dave Seaman to get it away then from my left-hand side. Look at the red and white coloured flags. Look at the yellows and blues and reds of Arsenal away to my left as they thump it to my right-hand side. Davis heads on and Kevin Campbell's caught in an offside position from a Parma back four, conceding 35 goals this season. Arsenal in their entire season have conceded just 35. Testament there to England's current number one, Dave Seaman. Out of the back four comes Lorenzo Menotti. Ball at his left foot and sailing high and through the middle, and Arsenal can soak up that all day. It's straight through into the hands of Seaman, playing with pain-killing injections, let me tell you. This is 213th game for Arsenal, 87 clean sheets, remarkable statistics. Away towards Nigel Winterburn, pushing on the left-hand side, chops the cross in, it comes bouncing back off Thomas Brolin. Don't forget we have Mick Conway and Terry Niels-Barr and Holborn, the Arsenal manager in the 1980 European Cup Winners' Cup final. Alan Hudson's there with him as well, and a whole bevy of Arsenal supporters just shouting on, shouting for the Gunners. Davis stabs it through. Campbell was the onside. He's in the penalty area. Campbell, can he finish the ball? Stuck at his feet. It comes back to Ian Selly. He tries to shot it, bounces back to him again. Selly chips square. Here's Davis on the edge of the penalty area, chested it down, and Arsenal go all in the higgledy-piggledy, hurry and scurry there and lose possession. Asprilla through the middle. Here's danger with Zola. Has Brolin to his right-hand side. Steps it through to Brolin in the penalty box. Brolin scores. No, he doesn't. It's off the post and away. And Arsenal breathe a huge sigh of relief. Brolin hits the post, so near to scoring for Parma after Arsenal had muddled and fuddled a couple of chances at the other end. But it was to your left we go, Julian Waters, your end.
Well, there he is. It's that man again, Brolin. He's absolutely breathtaking. They released him in space, and as the shot fizzed in, I'm sure every Arsenal heart was in their mouth because they thought, like you did, Jonathan, that was going to nestle in the back of the net past Dave Seaman.
Well, that was an amazing, 60 seconds or so. A lovely ball from Selly through to Campbell. Campbell didn't collect it cleanly. He stuttered over the ball. He eventually got a shot on it. Came back to Selly. His shot was blocked. From that attack, Parma went straight down the other end. A lovely ball through to Brolin. A great shot from about 17 yards at an angle, and it luckily banged off the post.
Dixon for Arsenal, trying his luck down the right-hand side. He's crowded out, and once again Asprilla picks it up on the corner of our market. 0-0 on Capital Goal. Wide into the left-hand side, he has Alberto Di Chiara. Goes to the inside left channel himself. Ooh, just slipped it through between Morrow and Davis. And Davis was back there. The free kick was given anyway for offside against the surging run of Alberto Di Chiara down the left-hand side. And a free kick is given for Di Chiara in an offside position. The first Parma player to have picked up an international cap. They now have 6 in the provisional Italy World Cup squad for USA 94. Up front, Alan Smith tries to win it, but it's Apolloni who heads clear for Parma. Left-hand side of his own defence. Moves forward again. Stoops, nods it clear. Ian Selly buffets it back to the middle. Kevin Campbell stretches with Nestor Roberto Sensini. And out of play it goes from the Argentinian. This season in the European Cup Winners' Cup. Played the last 4 ever present then since joining the club, in fact. And Parma pick it up again and look for Asprilla down the left. Adams comes across. It's running away from Adams. It's running away from Asprilla. And it's a goal kick to Arsenal. Asprilla, the shaven-headed Colombian from Tuluá Valle, is the man who is bearing the brunt of the Arsenal Boo Boys at that end. Let me give you his pedigree. 16 goals in 39 appearances. Last season, 7 in 26. And Asprilla will be the man that Arsenal have to watch. Sensini clears them. A high lump through the middle for Parma. Chase for Steve Bold. Had to get there first. Had to be hungrier than that. Little bit of dawdling between Bold and Tony Adams, and the man behind them ready to pounce was Gianfranco Zola. 22 goals this season. You cannot mess around with that quality behind you. Zolo's also a taker of a very mean free kick, let me tell you. Seaman then a high thrash ball through the middle. Smith wins a good one in the air, lays it away to Kevin Campbell, who struggles to get in before Luigi Apolloni. Seemed to be quicker there to the ball. Apolloni, the 27-year-old birthday boy. Out of play it goes. It's a goal kick away to my right to be taken by Luca Bucci. Then missed 1 league game this season. It was against Roma. Kept 12 clean sheets. And away he goes, clears it downfield, giving up Marco Ballotta at the moment. He clears it to the head of Steve Bold, heads it back through the middle, centre circle. Smith chases and challenges on Capital Goal with a sweep of Minotti. Comes screwing wide off Minotti's foot, slightly backward of square. And Arsenal have a throw in 10 yards inside that Parma half. Make that 12, make that 13, make that 14 yards as Lee Dixon steals a few yards. Lee Dixon against the current rich men of Parma football, robbing from the rich to give to the poor. Well, you could hardly call the Highbury Millionaires poor. Throw in down the right-hand side by Lee Dixon, looking for Smithy. Lost possession. Parma clear it away again with Minotti. Collected by Merson. Tight 1-2 with Lee Dixon. Tried the 3-4 as it was. And Gabriele Pin intercepted via Brolin to the right fullback position. Antonio Benarivo hacks it clear, slips it, comes loose to Paul Davis through the inside right position of Merson. Merson clips it long, looking for Campbell to surge beyond the back 4 and beat the trap. He couldn't. Parma clear to Asprilla, centre circle. Goes down under fair pressure from Sully. Arsenal collect again. Davis comes to his right-hand side. Wants Campbell to surge on. Campbell there. Did he come short looking for it? Had he made the surge down the right? He seemed indecisive, but he's won the throw-in nonetheless for Arsenal. Could well be a free kick for the challenge by Minotti, in fact, on Kevin Campbell. Think it is, and it's a free kick there. Campbell just seemed to hesitate before making his mind. Power, that big, strong frame after the ball. 6 foot 13 stone 1. Could use it more often to better effect, that power surge. But can Kevin Superman Campbell get on the end of this free kick? 2 yards in from this near side. Davis will drift it into the box here. Swing it in, Paul Davis, out towards the far side of the penalty area. Adams heads it down, almost came through the ball. A last desperate clearance away by Apolloni. And it's cleared from the edge of the penalty area by Kripa to Gabriele Pin. Over the halfway line, what a frantic and furious pace that we had in the opening 18 minutes. It's again Asprilla getting through a challenge. That time it was by Nigel Winterburn finds Zola in support, and out wide towards the right-hand side, and Antonio Benarive, this short 5'6" fullback who comes square across the midfield, finds Apolloni. Out to the left-hand side, he's got Creeper. Coming short inside left position, 10 yards further forward is Thomas Brolin. Square again to Gabriele Pen. Obviously, in these opening 15-20 minutes, the Parma playmaker here, that's the tactics they tried to use. On the right, he takes on Ian Selly, goes wide of him, in goes the Nigel Winterburn covering challenge. Doubling up neatly there, Arsenal, competently, and they have possession with Nigel Winterburn, and ever present with 8 European Cup Winners' Cup appearances to his name this season. This is the 500th club game of his career. Arsenal sweep clear to Lee Dixon on the right. Short and inside him, 10 yards to his left is Paul Davis. Davis was clipped there a little bit late by Creeper. Play on, says the referee, and Arsenal switch it neatly away to the left-hand side, and Winterburn goes into the Parma half at 0-0 on Capitol goal with 19 played. In support inside left position is Morrow. Selly now comes away to his right-hand side, and Lee Dixon. Campbell in the box, Smith is around the backs. The cross comes cannoning back off the back of Massimo Creeper. Started in amateur football. Italy, 12 internationals now. Will be in the World Cup, I should imagine, in the summer. Dixon, an England international 13 times, will take the throw in, 10 yards inside the Parma half, right-hand side. Finds Alan Smith. Smith coming away from the Marco Minotti. Back to Lee Dixon. In goes the little chip. The sweep of Minotti's there again. His clearance stop to Smith, the cannon! Yes! Arsenal 1-0 up! Alan Smith, the thunderbolt from the edge of the penalty area! Smudger blocks the copybook of Parma and puts Arsenal 1-0 up with an absolute rifle from the edge of the penalty area. Alan Smudger Smith hits the Gunners 1, Parma 0 in the European Cup Winners' Cup final on Capitol goal.
Oh, it's a fantastic goal that was. It was a poor clearance there from Apollino, was it? And the overhead kick came to Alan Smith, rested it down and hit it with his left foot like a rocket just inside the post to put Arsenal 1 up. And just prior to that, they had the free kick that Paul Davis took, and Arsenal looked very dangerous. Big Tony Adams got a terrific header in, and eventually it was cleared. But great start now for Arsenal.
Alan Smith, Arsenal's highest European goal scorer ever. That's his 6th goal in European Cup competitions. Now Apolloni takes the free kick through the inside left position, and Paul Davis has given away another one, and this is danger here. Asprilla stalks back. Will he take it, or will it be Gianfranco Zola to take this free kick from just outside the penalty area, about 10 yards outside the box? Only 1 goal in this season's competition against Benfica away, Zola. It proved crucial. Zola stands to the left, but it's Asprilla who moves ominously back to 3 yards. Selly's the breaker from the wall. It's touched off to Asprilla, who drives it in, and Lee Dixon was alone inside the penalty area, hadn't moved out, but he thrashed it away for a throw-in on the Parma left-hand side. It was poorly struck by Asprilla. Throw taken by Alta Di Chiara, gets it back on the left-hand side. Arsenal leading by a goal to 0. Dixon stabs a challenge in. It's a corner kick to Parma on their left, on Capitol goal, with Tennent's Pilsner. What magnificent sponsors they are, the best sponsors in broadcasting soccer. It's a corner kick on the left-hand side to Parma. They've got all the danger men in there. In it comes towards the near post. It bounced, it swirled, it bounced on the top of the net, and it's away for a goal kick. It was swirling so ominously from this mystical, magical right foot of Gianfranco Zola from this near side, and Dave Seaman mightily relieved. The goal came at Steve Wilson's end.
What a magnificent strike it was by Alan Smith. It actually clipped the inside of the post on its way past Luca Bucci in the Parma goal. The Parma fans away to our right-hand side, absolutely dumbstruck. They thought they'd had the better chances. They'd seen Brolin hit a post. Now they know they have to score against the Arsenal, and that's a tall order indeed.
All 4 corners of the Andreas Parken Stadium covered by Capitol goal. We've had reporters with the fans, with the team here in Copenhagen. We've been based first and fastest since Sunday afternoon on Capitol goal, to soak up the atmosphere, to bring you the hot news first and fastest. And it is Arsenal leading Parma 1-0. And out of the back 4 comes Lorenzo Minotti. It was his mistake, the overhead, that dropped to Smith for the rifle. Apolloni on the left-hand side, touches it forward, then looking for Massimo Creeper. Good ball square to find Pin again, drifting dangerously into open spaces, but robbed by Paul Merson. Merson over the halfway line. Out on this right, he's got Kevin Campbell. Smith to the left. Campbell runs inside, takes a defender away. They tried to find Smith. Cleared square. It's a poor clearance by Benarivo. Campbell can pick up again. Just works it out wide to the left-hand side. Winterburn gets across into the penalty area. Apolloni this time wins it cleanly and heads, so they can bring it away with the figure of Alberto Di Chiara to saunter down this left-hand side then for Parma. In support he has Massimo Creeper, this powerfully built Italian international. Torino signed him in '87 from amateur football. Went on to Napoli and joined Diego Maradona. No luck here though so far, but Brolin perhaps can collect and do something now on the halfway line, just outside the centre circle. Wide to Benarivo. Benarivo, long ball forward to the danger man again, Esprilla. Has Tony Adams behind him. Oh, Esprilla there. Well, Adams quite rightly furious because Esprilla has slipped, and Arsenal, he started to slide and then threw himself down, and it's a free kick a yard outside the Arsenal box. That was never a free kick. And here the referee from the Czech Republic, Václav Krondl, has been conned by the theatrics of Faustino Asprilla, the Colombian international. A £4.5 million signing he was from Nacional. It's a free kick, and this is mighty, mighty, mighty danger for Arsenal. They have every man back inside that penalty area. Gianfranco Zola to the left, Faustino Asprilla to the right. Moving forward into the box is Benarivo. Gabriele Pin is 10 yards to the right of the ball. Arsenal have a loose wall back inside that penalty area. It's a wall of red and white human bricks. Gianfranco Zola to do the demolition job, or will it be Faustino Asprilla to come forward with that cannonball of a demolition crash into that wall and knock it down? Two Arsenal players are bobbing up and down on the extreme right of the wall as I look at it. Zola bends it high, wide, and not too handsome, and there's a caution here inside the wall for someone who broke, and I think it's Alan Smith who broke from the wall, or is it Tony Adams moving forward to get a caution from the referee? It's Tony Adams. It's caution for breaking from the wall. Well, or who is it? Davis? Who's he cautioned there, Frank?
I don't know who's cautioned, but the referee should be cautioned. I mean, that's two ridiculous decisions. Asprilla just actually slipped. Nobody was even near him. He's given a free kick right at the edge of the box and then gives him another one.
Another free kick. David Seaman faced twice taken free kick in Rotterdam for England against Holland, remember. Zola again stands poised. Asprilla to his right. Creepers there again. Lot of movement inside that box. Lot of kidology going on here. Again Merson bobbles in the wall. Again Zola takes it all just over. Top of the net. It bowls the top of the net. Arsenal look to the linesman who flags for offside in there anyway against Antonio Benarivo. It wouldn't have stood your end, Julian Waters.
Well, the flag went up there, but that free kick, the first one, they took an age to take it, an absolute age, and there was Winterburn. I saw them in training yesterday doing it. They've had a man back on the line in case it goes over the wall and Seaman can't reach it and knock it away with his head. Winterburn was back there doing that job, and then he had to keep rushing up because he was playing everybody onside, and there was players all over the place. It was absolute chaos, and the Gunners fans are relieved that that little episode is over.
I'll tell you what, we've no idea who the referee booked here, because he's gone into that penalty area and he's waved his yellow card around like a top salesman waves around his business card. Who he booked, I don't know. Could have been Adams, it could have been Davis, it could have been Smith. Of course, it will matter, because if it's Davis, if it's Adams, they will miss the first game now of next season's competition suspended. Remember, Tony Adams missed the first of this competition suspended. Nigel Winterburn is limping in a left fullback position for Arsenal. Parma have a throw in on their right hand side. Arsenal lead though by a goal to nil with 28 played. Turning and spinning in the far side is Asprilla. Asprilla has won the corner kick to Parma. It'll be Parma's second corner of the game, but the first on that far side. And Gianfranco Zola, born in Sardinia, will go across to take it. Remember when England played a waiters 11 in Sardinia before the 1990 World Cup final and beat them 11-1? Zola played in that Sardinian side. Out sweeps a corner kick. It's thumped away by Alan Smith, the Arsenal goal scorer. Bounces back now onto the head of the right fullback Benarivo. Chops it up and it's offside again. Arsenal now can regather. Nigel Winterburn has gone down. He'll wait for Gary Lewin to sprint on. It was Tony Adams, we've had it confirmed here, that was cautioned. Tony Adams was cautioned for not retreating as he surged hungrily from that wall for the first free kick to block it. The UEFA fourth official says, go on Gary Lewin. The referee here is saying if you want treatment, Nigel Winterburn, you have to go off towards Graham. him as the doctor, the Arsenal doctor down there. They're calling for the doctor. Now, Nigel Winterburn has had problems with injuries, of course. I think it's his knee that's getting some magic spray. It's his right knee, left knee, I beg your pardon, it looks to me, that's getting some treatment. Lee Dixon's having an anxious word with George Graham. What would this mean, Frank? It looks to me as if he's going to carry on.
Well, I think he'll carry on. He's as tough as old boots, isn't he, Nigel Winterburn? He very seldom misses matches, and he's up on his feet already. But I'm just getting a little bit concerned about the refereeing decisions, because those were two diabolical ones recently, and there was no way that any player, Steve Bold or Tony Adams, touched the centre forward. He slipped, his feet gave way, he slipped, he fell down on his own. Immediately a free kick was given, and then he's claiming that they encroached into the 10 yards. That will worry me when the free kicks are around about the 18-yard box there.
The floodlights from the roof of the four cliff-like stands reflect off the balding pate of the Arsenal dock as he sits down, and the glass dugout below me, I can see Stuart Houston's head there, and I can see his waving arms gesticulating to the Gunners. Half an hour played, and Arsenal lead 1-0 in the European Cup Winners' Cup final. And Selly picks it up and pushes it back to the tall, upright figure of Tony Adams, who sweeps wide to the left in front of that Dorchester Union Jack. Nigel Winterburn hooks it on, and Alan Smith heads back to Merson to run at his man, perhaps on that left-hand side. Checks back again as pin closes, he releases it to Winterburn. Winterburn onto his left foot, slips it square then to Steve Morrow, doubling up with Winterburn effectively on that side. Pin closes again, just bends a neat ball down the line to Alan Smith. Smith has drawn Sensini out there, pushes it back to Winterburn, who runs at his man, and Antonio Benarivo, this good crosser of a ball, started in C1 third division with Brindisi, gets in a good challenge, on to Padua and B1 to Parma in 1991, and hardly missed a game since, played in the cup final against Juventus, and now an Italian regular is Antonio Benarivo, who's in position to close again, and consequently picks up for Parma on the right hand side of their defence. Knocks a long clearance out, and Tony Adams, header over the top, finds Alan Smith in an offside position. The curious thing is Alan Smith was off the pitch on the far side. They've kicked off Chelsea against Coventry, by the way, and we'll bring you the latest goal news first and fastest from the other cup finalists for London. And once this game is over, as far as cup football is concerned, we turn our attention to Chelsea. Special feature on Friday on Countdown to Kickoff. Of course, the last Saturday of the league season in all its glory as well. Then the FA Cup final, Saturday week on Goal. Chelsea against mighty Manchester United, double seeking. Back here tonight, it's Arsenal 1, Parma 0. And Parma find a corner kick on the right hand side. Again, it was the power figure of Creeper inside that penalty area who's won it. Leaps inside the box now to push the ball out from the top of the net, and it's a corner kick that Zola will take, and they've sent here Nestor Roberto Sensini forward onto the penalty area. He's on the edge of the box now. Zola's corner kick for Parma. It's dropped in there, it's headed away. Brolin's header carry. Brolin tried to catch it. I think it was Apolloni who got the final touch inside that box. But anyway, it's a goal kick for Arsenal. May well have been offside again inside that penalty area. And Arsenal's quick movement of their defence, certainly at the moment, unnerving Parma. It can't have been offside because there was an Arsenal player on the goal line. But anyway, it's a goal kick. That's all that matters. For 1 minute, the Arsenal fans then just drop their banners. They pick them up again. Such colour, such passion, such singing, such noise. We haven't seen this since 1980 in Brussels against Valencia in the Cup Winners' Cup final. They lost 4-5 on penalties. Everyone remembers Graham Rix's sad miss. Do you remember Chippy Brady's sad miss? Do you remember the miss by the great Mario Kempes there as well? As Gabriele Pin slips square into his right hand side and finds Minotti in the centre circle. Minotti inside left position to Gabriele Pin. Just outside the Arsenal box, he finds the left fullback Di Chiaro, a low grubber of a cross, and for a minute David Seaman slipped inside that murky and mucky and muddy chopped up area inside his 6-yard box, and for a minute at your end, Julian Waters, I thought we could have a freak equaliser.
Well, the hearts were pumping, and I'm sure David Seamans was as well. He pointed accusingly at the turf afterwards, where he just kicked it up a little bit, and obviously it's perhaps a bit dry in there and the surface hasn't taken properly because he's a big fellow, David Seaman, but that was a moment of horrible alarm.
Now a free kick is conceded as Ian Sally is a judge who brought down Cripper. The Arsenal bench furious with that. George Graham rings an angry fist towards the referee. Free kick push square to Minotti, coming out of the back four on a more regular basis now. Poor ball by him, out to the left hand touchline. It's Paul Merson gliding forward now as he collects, comes inside Antonio Benarivo, inside pin again. Now he'll work it away to Winterburn, I'm sure. Waits for Winterburn's burst, just chips it over the top. It's a long run here for Winterburn. Oh, Sensini dawdled, but Winterburn, as he flicked it inside Sensini, lost his footing, and the Argentinian can clear to Gabriele Pin. Pin, the 32-year-old, started with Juventus, only played once for them against Fiorentina way back in 1990. Now it's cleared up front towards Steve Bold. Steve Bold, sliding challenge around the opponent, gets it away towards the halfway line. It's chipped on again over the top, looking for Esprilla. Minotti's long chip through the middle. Dave Seaman can come and gather those all night. And Arsenal lead Parma by a goal to nil with some 12 minutes remaining in this first half. Alan Smith with a cannon for the Gunners on 20. Dave Seaman out of his penalty area, right foot away then, looks for the head of Kevin Campbell, rises and heads inside to Alan Smith and goes for a turn. Was Apolloni pushing him back? No, he wasn't. Campbell challenges again, he raised his foot there, and Apolloni has pushed in on the back of Kevin Campbell with a churlish gesture of an immature baby, and it's a free kick, and Sensini will take, and the referee coming in here and having a quiet word with Kevin Campbell and Apolloni. Frank McClintock, in my mind, there's one guilty man out there for that.
Yes, the referee. I mean, I've been really disappointed with some of his decisions. I hope it doesn't continue and it was maybe just a couple of slip-ups, because if he continues to give decisions like that, no matter how well Arsenal are playing, they could lose the match because of it, and it dispirits you as well and stops your concentration because you get so angry with some of those decisions. But nevertheless, a great performance by Arsenal up to now. They look as though they can frighten this team a little bit when they're attacking them. The defence of Parma don't look as solid as I thought they might have done, but here they are on the attack at the moment.
Zola has it, right hand corner of the penalty area, will take on Nigel Winterburn now. He just wheels his foot, it goes wide of Winterburn, hacks the cross in, comes deflecting off Morrow. Everywhere Zola goes you'll see Steve Morrow somewhere, and it's a corner kick to Parma again on their right hand side, and Zola crows across to take it. What an important role for the 24-year-old Belfast boy Steve Morrow. Corner kick, roll back then to the fullback Benarivo. No cross collected on the edge of the penalty area by Crippa, and Arsenal have come out and they've caught Zola offside. And at the moment Parma aren't thinking on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. They must have seen videos of the Arsenal back four. I mean, how many of you at home listening tonight, if I was to say, right, picture a player from the league, mind you, Arsenal have a player down now injured on the edge of their own penalty area, picture a player in the league who's standing with an arm raised. How many of you would picture an Arsenal red shirt belonging to that arm, belonging to, say, Tony Adams or Steve Bolt, who've caught someone offside? Hundreds of you, thousands of you would on London's market leader for soccer, Ian Selly, is okay. And obviously Parma haven't realised that Arsenal break quickly from the back, push up and catch offside. It's a free kick. Dave Seaman will take it, left hand side of his penalty area, right foot high hoist upfield. Smith holding off his man, heads on past Sensini. Campbell's a little bit, couldn't quite get in there again. To be fair, he had a lot of work to do. Selly booms it back through the middle, and it's a free kick for offside against Kevin Campbell. May well have been for the foul. No, it is for offside. It's a free kick that's taken by Minotti, the sweeper. Just lifts it forward to Brolin, inside right position, heads it away then towards Sensini on the right hand side. Sensini square to Minotti. Minotti comes forward over the halfway line. Brolin's peeled away from his man. No one's picked him up. Winterburn has now. Oh, that could have been dangerous as Zola pushed it up and Bold heads it away. Back inside the centre circle now. Gabriele Pin coming back to take possession, just rolls it square then to Nestor Sensini, signed in November of last year. He finds Apolloni, and back again it is towards this 27-year-old Argentinian who started with Newell's Old Boys. Through to Thomas Brolin. What a start he had to his career. Scored a hat-trick on his debut for IFK Gothenburg. Asprilla, the Colombian, centre forward position, turns just outside the box, slammed in a shot, comes off Steve Bold, and Arsenal clear through Winterburn to Smith. Header goes square. Minotti again moving forward, heads it away to Asprilla, 10 yards outside the box. He's turned inside Winterburn. Asprilla goes for the 1-2 with Zola, who doesn't feed it back but cracks it in. Brilliant save! Oh, what a save by Dave Seaman! Pushed it up and over the bar and saved Arsenal then. It's still 1-0 to the Gunners, and they can thank their goalkeeper Dave Seaman for that.
Another blistering effort as they again got a man over. Seaman stood up big, he stood up bold, the hand went out and he just flicked it into those Arsenal fans, but they're still worried now.
Corner kick left hand side, Zola takes it again, near post, and Seaman gathers right in there on the near post. He thumped it at the post. Different sort of save, just as important.
Oh, it was a great save actually, a terrific save. Just got a flick to it, just put it over the bar, and I'm sure that the Parma fans thought that was in the back of the net. A great shot from Zola. He's been very, very quiet, probably thanks to Morrow's close marking, but he hasn't hardly been in the game at all. But that was a terrific effort there. But Nigel Winterburn, just prior to the move happening, looked a little bit sluggish, not his usual self, and maybe the injury he had a few minutes ago is still affecting him.
Now here's Brolin, halfway line, slightly right of centre. nudges it square. Minotti moving forward, he'll have a crack here. It took a deflection, did it swing in the air? May have swung Dennis Lilly, Jeff Thompson style, and Dave Seaman took a painful blow there as he gathered it into his midriff, because let me tell you, David Seaman is playing through all sorts of discomfort here. Clears it away, that's deflected off Aspria's backside, and Steve Bowl can nudge it away to Paul Davis. Back it comes, a back pass eventually to his own goalkeeper by Ian Sully, who was caught by a very late Gabriele Pin challenge. Nothing's been given. That's offside as well, as Seaman clears it away. As soon as Brolin touched that forward, Zola was in an offside position, having chased down on the goalkeeper, and nothing's been given. And at the moment, I know this will sound biased towards a London football club, but at the moment, this refereeing performance is strangely one-sided, and Arsenal lead Parma by a goal to nil, but they are receiving no succour or comfort from their referee. On the edge of the penalty area, in goes Crippa. Good challenge on him, Crippa dive. Nothing given by the referee, that's more like it. Across comes a swinging square ball by Sensini. Aspria wriggles and shimmies, and Adams goes in with a stonking challenge. Davis follows it up to slip it away, and across comes Nestor Sensino with a mousy coloured hair. Back to the flame-headed Apolloni. Sensini again, wide to Massimo Crippa, this powerful man on the left-hand side. To Aspria, back to goal, the Colombian with Adams tight behind him again. We've been playing 40 minutes on Capital Gold. 1-0 it is to Arsenal. And the referee stopped it here for a push by Tony Adams, and I think Tony Adams may well have got the worst of that.
I'll tell you what, David Seaman's in a lot of pain. He keeps bending over and grimacing as he does so, and reserve keeper Alan Miller is actually warming up.
On Capital Goal with Tennent's Pilsner, the lager with a difference. It's now Sensini over the halfway line to Minotti. Comes back inside his half of the centre circle. Finds Gabriele Pin. Brolin spun away there with great speed. Came short, then spun away. Didn't get it. It's away towards Benarivo. Benarivo attacks the box. A high swinging shot. That's well over the bar. Ironic gestures from the Arsenal fans behind Dave Seaman's goal. David Seaman here is really worried. He's calling towards the referee. I think he wants the referee to come towards him. He's seen something.
I think it's a hole in the net or something he's talking about, Jonathan. He's pointing to the net and circling with his hands as though maybe the net's dropped down or there's a hole in it, one or two.
What he's done is, when he went in to gather that in-swinging Zola corner a couple of minutes ago, he thumped himself against the post, and I think he unhooked the top of the net. Who was that got that goal years back that went into the side netting and the referee's given a goal? Yeah. And I remember it was a hole in the net on that occasion. If you don't know, but you can help us, ask your mum or dad or your granddad or your grandmum, and perhaps you can help a doddering old commentator who's forgotten his lines on this occasion, as Kevin Campbell slips it over the head of Alan Smith, but it's collected just outside the Parma penalty area again by Lorenzo Minotti, skipper of the 1992 success against Juventus and the 80 and the 93 European Cup Winners' Cup success against Antwerp. Back come Arsenal though to test Minotti's back for it's a poor ball square by Merson. Brolin has it, inside right position, dwelt on it. Morrow bit in with a challenge and finds Alan Smith, who's having a great game holding it up for Arsenal. A lot of time he's a lone front runner. Davis now, right hand side of the midfield. Merson and Campbell have turned away from their man. Campbell attacks the penalty area, tried to push the ball back square, comes off Sensini, corner kick to Arsenal. If anything, Campbell and Merson got in each other's way, and Merson acknowledges then to Campbell. He put his hand up and said, sorry, Super Kev, that's my mistake, and that's a corner kick to Arsenal. On their right-hand side, what a great time this would be to score number 2. 42 minutes gone in the European Cup Winners' Cup final of 94. Arsenal 1, Parma 0 on Capital Gold. Paul Davis takes the corner kick, a little chip in towards the near post. It's in, it's cleared. Oh, I thought for a minute Arsenal had a second as Kevin Campbell leapt and headed down, and it was blocked by Gabriele Pin with the goalkeeper left out with the washing boys. It's a corner kick to Arsenal again. It's going to be taken by Paul Davis on this right-hand side. Arsenal's third of the game, in towards the near post. Bold is there as it come off the defender again. It's come off Benarivo, and Arsenal forcing corner kick after corner kick, and Parma do not like this, and they feel worried by Arsenal's set pieces which have worried the whole of Europe in the Cup Winners' Cup this season. Davis again, the little chip in. Bold tries to get the half header onto it, and it'll be brought down by Crippa, runs it away towards the left-hand side. Little chip down the line to Zola. Zola being harried by Inselli on this near touchline. Goes down, free kick given. Steve Ball runs away with the ball, being pursued by an angry Alberto Di Chiara, the Roman 30-year-old. Alberto Di Chiara, left back, left midfield. He loves to saunter forward. He now pushes the ball back. It's a free kick. Minotti square towards Sensini. Sensini away on the right-hand side. A high arc through the middle. The linesman flag is raised against Brolin's surge. Thomas Brolin being supported here by a little gaggle of Swedes who've come across the Öresund, the Sound. And of course, he is a magnificent Swedish international. Just ask Graham Taylor. Did he not like orange? He didn't like yellow either in the 92 European Championships. Come to think of it, he didn't like red of Denmark. He didn't like blue of France. Did he like anything? Here's Alan Smith, the little header on inside the box. Kevin Campbell can't bring in the control. It's looped away towards Asprilla. Header back square then to the left-hand side. Hoisted up again, only as far as the back centre-back partnership of Bold and Adams, and a long lunging pass to Merson on the left to try and dance past Benarivo. Read it well, slips it square then towards Sensini, who lifts the clearance down the Parma right-hand side. Morrow again, a hop, skip and a jump to recollect possession for Arsenal. Merson has it on the left-hand side. Lovely shimmy inside his man, stabs it down the line. Morrow off balance, little bit leaden-footed, couldn't get after it. And Minotti clears towards Brolin's chest, halfway inside his own half. Lovely touch to Gabriele Pin. Chips forward to Asprilla's control. Oh, Asprilla lobs over the head of Morrow's, come back very quickly. Knocks it through to Zola. Adams gets the block challenge in. Selly has given Morrow a difficult ball to control. Morrow took a nasty knock late from Asprilla. He's on the deck now, picking himself up. Arsenal play it back to David Seaman. Seaman clears for touch on the far side. It's a throw into Parma on capital goal with Terence Pilsner, the lager with a difference. We approach the half-time interval with Arsenal leading by a goal to nil, and the throw-in will be taken by Antonio Benarivo. Played the last 3 World Cup qualifiers and 3 friendlies in a row for Italy as well. The Brindisi-born defender. And here he is now, moving forward with Parma down the right, because as they lump it long, they've conceded a throw-in on the Arsenal left, and it'll be taken by Nigel Winterburn in his 49th game of the season. How he would wish for his first goal in something like 17 months, perhaps to settle from it. Will he take a penalty if he goes to penalty? Remember, he missed at Wembley in the League Cup final of 1988 against Luton. Here's David Seaman to clear it away then for Arsenal. Big wry grin on his face. Does he ever stop smiling? Right foot from the big genial Yorkie downfield. Rising at the back for Parma. Benarivo knocks it away, and a high hoist to Gary Owen from Stephen Morrow. Campbell, a little bit cumbersome control. It's bounced back to Merson's wriggle to the edge of the penalty area. Out comes Luca Bucci to dive at his feet, and the goalkeeper, all in blue with a shaggy long black unkempt mane, launches a clearance away through the middle, and Tony Adams rodders to some of the Arsenal teammates, clears it away. Winterburn has it on the left-hand side, down the line towards Paul Merson. Stoppage time being played. Selly slips wide again to Merson. He comes in now towards Paul Davis. All this on the far side from me, on the C-stand side of the ground, where Arsenal flags wave. There's one Parma yellow and blue up there, and Parma have a free kick on their right for interference by Alan Smith. It's a free kick that's pushed square then towards Lorenzo Minotti, and Minotti, captain of the Super Cup victorious team against Milan, finds Apolloni to Kripa. Kripa dwelt on it. Davis away to Smith. Davis was fouled. Smith finds Campbell, who goes for the free, goes for the run through the inside right channel, and is obstructed by Apolloni, and the free kick is given. And Apolloni looks towards the referee. Is this going to be a card? It is a yellow card. Faustino Asprilla decides to argue the case from 40 yards away, and Apolloni looks towards, I think Thomas Brolin has a word with him on that far side, just to say he needs to take up better positions, but a free kick is given. I don't really think Apolloni could argue against the yellow card, although I think Kevin Campbell had nowhere to go and made the best out of a bad spot there. Free kick then, won by the power of Kevin Campbell. Free kick 10 yards in from this near touchline, halfway inside the Parma half. 47 minutes gone. Davis to the right, Selly to the left, and Tony Adams moves forward. On the right comes Lee Dixon. Only 2 men in that wall, Creeper and Pin. Brolin stalks back. Davis feints to take the early free kick. Now takes it, sweeps it forward to the box. Smith rises, Adams rises, came off him. Kevin Campbell keeps it in play as Parma stopped. Campbell's chip back, Smith rises. Header away by Apolloni, drops to Tony Adams. It's loose inside the box. Dixon can try and collect on the edge of the penalty area though. Inadvertently, he's pinged it straight back to Brolin and wide on the right hand side to Zola. Zola arcs it over the head of Morrow, who climbs and gets a vital touch. Asprilla's there now to attack the Arsenal penalty area left hand side. Asprilla Asprilla drags it back under sole of his foot, chips it into the penalty area. Dixon's inside the penalty box, tried a clearance. The ball got stuck up, almost thrashed it against Nigel Winterburn, his fullback partner. A beach ball is on the pitch. Winterburn tosses it away, having cleared towards his near side, throwing is wasted. Dixon back inside his own penalty area, stretches, goal, kick is given. Palmer here appealing for a penalty and surrounding the referee. Morrow applauds the decision. They wanted a penalty because Lee Dixon, having tried to clear it, then slid in on who was it in the box who went in there? May well have been Zola. Anyway, it's a goal kick to Arsenal.
Well, what a relief. I saw the referee with his arm out, and for a dreadful moment as he zoomed into the penalty area, I thought he was going to point to the spot. Surrounded then by the yellow shirts, and it was all over for another moment.
Now it's a little clearance back by Apolloni towards Luca Bucci, who cleared away. We believe the goal that went into the side netting and shouldn't have been a goal was scored by Peter Lorimer against Alex Stepney. Was that Leeds against Manchester United? Must have been, I guess. John from the Angel phoned in. Here we have an injury to Tony Adams, who jumped in the air with Asprilla. Was it use of the elbow? I don't know. The referee has gone across to Asprilla. Gary Lewin wants to come on and treat the poleaxed Arsenal skipper who's down. And I'll tell you what, and Asprilla gets a yellow card and he waves ironically towards the referee. Now barks back at him. He's furious. Adams is poleaxed and Asprilla has not shut his mouth throughout the game. The Parma players tell him to go away. Adams cautioned, Asprilla cautioned, Apolloni cautioned as well. You have to do something bad to make this guy go down in a crumpled heap.
Well, he didn't go for the ball. Tony Adams was going for the ball, and Asprilla just ran about 10 yards and challenged through the air, smacked Tony Adams half in the back, and he had no way of protecting himself, and then turned to the referee very angrily when he got a yellow card, and he's been mouthing off for the last 5 or 10 minutes, and I think he's the kind of player that will lose his cool and could get sent off.
Tony Adams, badly winded, puts his red shirt up to his nose, takes a huge breath, and Lee Dixon thumps it forward towards the edge of the Parma penalty. It's over the top and the goalkeeper will save it. We've been playing 50 minutes on capital goal. It's Arsenal 1, Parma 0. It's away downfield. We're still in the first half. Loads of stoppage time. Winterburn collects now to drive away. Asprilla tried to challenge him from behind unfairly. Winterburn clips a clearance against Antonio Benarivo. Missed just the Ajax away game in the quarter-final of this. Otherwise never present in the European Cup this season. And Arsenal have a throw-in again. Nigel Winterburn moves rather sluggishly at it, I must admit. He'll come forward now and take it at his leisure. And quite right too. Throw-in to be taken by Nigel Winterburn down that left. Alan Smith heads it inside to Merson, who stretches, knocks it square behind Campbell. No way Kevin Campbell could have retrieved that. Palmer working out a way towards their left-hand side here. Di Chiara can move forward at speed. Just slips it through to Zola. Zola spins. He's got Dixon and Davis there. Davis gets a block challenge in. Dixon can run it away. Zola tried to impede him. Dixon away down the right-hand side over the halfway line. Campbell was a wee bit slow again. Apolloni gets in there. To Di Chiara, swings it up towards Asprilla, lays it back to Brolin. Brolin hoists it over the head of Winterburn. Again, Asprilla has a shot here. Asprilla charged down by Bold. Ricochets away. Minotti follows it up through the defensive line. Dave Seaman makes a comfortable save. He's furious for that 6-yard box, Dave Seaman. I think he thinks it's badly cut up. Here comes Stuart Houston towards the UEFA fourth official and points to his watch and says, "Has yours stopped?" 51 minutes gone. The linesman has signalled to the Czechoslovakian referee, from the Republic of Czechs we should say these days, and it's away here by Nesta Sensini of Parma over the halfway line. Dixon chips long though down that line. Again Campbell was a wee bit slow to come across to it. In went the left fullback Di Chiara, but Campbell's weight enough again to force the throw in Arsenal's way. Dixon will take it. The Apolloni here is absolutely screaming at linesman and referee. Throw in taken by Dixon towards Campbell, back to Davis, slightly right hand side to Stephen Morrow, opens it up again. Useful early easy ball to Dixon, who's wasted it. Apolloni can come away. Apolloni to the halfway line. Morrow bites in with a challenge. Is that a free kick? No, the half-time whistle has finally gone after 52 minutes of football that sees Arsenal leading Parma at the half-time interval by 1-0. And Alan Smith got it at the end of the field, patrolled by Steve Wilson.
Yeah, as the Arsenal players walk off down the tunnel, Thomas Brolin and Asprilla, the last two Parma players, along with the keeper Luca Bucci, to make it down to the tunnel. Those Parma fans absolutely disgusted at half-time. You know, they will scream every time a Parma player loses a bit of a fingernail in the penalty box. They'll scream for a penalty kick. They've been screaming through the first half, but quite rightly Arsenal lead 1-0.
Zola taps it back to Creeper, long to Asprilla. Again, Winterman comes quickly to close down on him. Winterman away down the left-hand side, chips out of play, throw into Parma it will be, and a throw in that'll be taken by Nestor Roberto Sensini, an ever-present in this European Cup Winners' Cup since he joined then in the early part of this season from Udinese. It's Arsenal collecting with Davis looking for Campbell, but Apolloni there to block, and away down the left-hand side, just over the halfway line, Zola taps it back to Di Chiara. Again, it's inside the Parma half, and Gabriele Pin just floats it gently square, and Thomas Brolin forward of square it was. Brolin to Sensini, and here's Pin again picking up. Had a lot of play early on in the first half, did he, Gabriele Pin, before Arsenal closed on him. And now they'll have to close down on Di Chiara as he comes forward from a left full-back position. Slips it square to Creepo, shoots. Blocked, but Brolin was offside in the penalty area anyway. And Arsenal have a free kick. Morrow went in with a tonking challenge on Asprilla. We hear that Dave Seaman's had more pain-killing injections at half-time, another 3, and Frank McClintock, he certainly is paying through pain tonight.
Yes, he must be. He evidently had 3 or 4 this morning as well, or early afternoon, so I mean that is an awful lot of injections to get. But the ribs are such a difficult place to protect, aren't they? But nevertheless, it hasn't stopped him making 2 or 3 terrific saves, especially the one from Zola in the first half, a great save, and that could have maybe turned the game.
So, Coventry go 2-0 up at Chelsea, by the way. The second goal scorer is Steve Morgan. And on the far side from me, Kevin Campbell is pulled up for a foul on Di Chiara. Yellow card for Kevin Campbell for a challenge that leaves Di Chiara writhing around. You'd have thought he'd been shot there as Kevin Campbell tried to challenge him. He's his foot high. It caught Di Chiara. Now, this is what you look at, Frank. I look at eyes. And the first thing Di Chiara did then was look to see where the referee was and then rolled over, clutching his belly. Yeah,
he got caught in the midriff, but it was an accident, actually. It wasn't a deliberate foul. But I think he made the best of it. That's the thing that used to annoy when Continentals played against each other.
Now it's Brolin with a little chip shot on the edge of the penalty area. Saved by Dave Seaman. Brolin down inside the Arsenal penalty area, hurt genuinely. Seaman throws it out sportingly. Brolin limping back. Nothing sham about this injury. He was caught by a very, very desperate and important challenge on the edge of the penalty area. Your end, Steve Wilson.
Yeah, those Parma supporters are fairly worried about Thomas Brolin. Don't forget, he's the man who really lit up the first 10 minutes of the game. It's his link up with Zola and Asprilla that is Arsenal's danger. But Brolin, as he walks away from this end, appears to be running off that slight knock.
Alan Smith heads on for Arsenal towards the edge of the penalty area. There's Benarivo to nod away. Thomas Brolin, 10 yards inside his own half, heads forward. Asprilla charges back, stretches out his foot and finds Benarivo, the fullback, to his goalkeeper Bucci. Bucci clears it away towards the halfway line. Like Gucci, but Bucci is the goalkeeper. That's how we were told to pronounce it by the Italian journalist from Gazzetta dello Sportivo. Now it's Asprilla, and Asprilla, as he pushed it back here to Sensini, left the foot out and caught Paul Merson, and Merson glared at him, and that is so unnecessary. This game has had its bad moments, ill feeling. Here's Crippa on the left, and Arsenal have done well to hold on to their tempers. Finds the left fullback Alberto Di Chiara into the Arsenal half, forward to Gianfranco Zola. Such an exciting talent. Wide towards the left wing, and it is pushed back here again then towards Apolloni. No, it's not Apolloni on that far side, it's Minotti, I think, who's come forward. Square it is then towards Gabriele Pin. Pin slips to the creeper and takes the return. He's 10 yards outside the penalty area. Looks for Zola. There again is Minotti, wide towards the left. Play on, says the referee. Di Chiara's cross bounces off Lee Dixon, the 30-year-old Mancunian. And away it goes for the first corner of this second half, and Parma's fifth of the game. And Gianfranco Zola will go across and take it. They used to nickname him in his amateur club of Nuarese, Merendania, because rumours of all the junk food. It's after a local snack. He used to pile his body with junk food and then had to work with an Olympic weightlifter to get back into shape. Here he is swinging the corner in, and Seaman gathers, and pushed it away. And for a goalkeeper that's racked by pain, that was a brave save again. Just sneaked up his fingers and fingertipped it away for a corner kick. And Gianfranco Zola comes across to take it then. All the way from long on to third man, so to speak. He'll come across and take it. He'll come across on this right and he'll take it now, then in towards the near post. He's got a body in at the near post. It was Cripper to the far and looks for Asprilla. And a vital interception by Alan Smith on Asprilla, who got the touch away for a throw-in on the extreme far side from me. And the linesman has flagged for something, push maybe in the box by Asprilla, I don't know. Maybe the ball had swung out of play straight away for a goal kick. Again, it's down your end of the field, Steve Wilson.
Yeah, I think possibly the linesman down on this near side felt that the ball, as it was curled over, crossed over the goal line and back into play, but it was a magnificent touch by Alan Smith, because Asprilla was creeping in and Alan Smith got there, but by inches.
I tell you, overall, over a European tie, Arsenal have never lost to Italian opposition. Cup Winners' Cup 79-80, Juventus and that famous victory away from home, of course. Lazio, Fairs Cup 70-71, 4-2 on aggregate. And Torino in the quarter-final of this competition in the magnificent Del Alpi Stadium. Now it's Lorenzo Minotti away towards the attacking fullback Alberto Di Chiaro, who carves inroads into the Arsenal half. Bold comes out, gets a block challenge, bounces to Asprilla inside the penalty. Brilliant challenge on him by Dixon, still loose. Zola goes down. Zola goes down theatrically. The Parma fans say penalty and the referee waves them away. Nothing given. Adams and Bold both looking to Zola and saying stay on your feet and giving him a ticking off. In comes a chip by Pin and Seaman comes and gathers. And Dixon's challenge then was a mighty one. So was Seaman's bowl out. Finds Campbell over the halfway line now. Pushes up to Alan Smith in a centre forward position. Challenge from behind went straight through him like a dose of salts from Nesta Sensini. And the referee's given the free kick. Poor old Alan Smith, you know, he gets black and blue around the calves and the Achilles. And now it's Lee Dixon down. What a brilliant challenge that was by him in the penalty area, way to my right hand side.
That was a brilliant challenge, and it's been a little bit hairy recently for Arsenal. They haven't really started the second half particularly well. Parma have stepped up the tempo. They're doing really well at the moment. There was a couple of lovely moments there with Zola and everything else, but at the moment Dixon looks in quite a lot of pain, and the referee has gone back to him. And now it's Gary Lewin going on to see him, but he's dragging him out, so it looks as though he could be in a little bit of trouble there.
Tell you what I've just seen, Frank, something absolutely ridiculous. Antonio Benarivo clearly thinks that Lee Dixon isn't injured. He ran 30 yards and laid hands on the referee. Now, all you referees out there listening tonight, the referees who referee down on the Hackney Marshes and away all over the football grounds of this country, I don't know about you, whether you agree, but how can kids learn to behave on the football fields of the world when they see top-class professionals laying hands on referee? That happened then. Julian Waters, your end, did he catch that?
Well, yeah, I did. He lost his rag completely for about 15 seconds as he just went charging up the pitch. How can you possibly claim that Lee Dixon is faking it? He's 100 yards away from Dixon, who was lying on the turf for a good 20-30 seconds before the ref even spotted it. Anyway, he seems to have calmed down a little bit now, but a good sign again for Arsenal there. Perhaps they are a little bit rattled.
Mightily disappointed with the attitude of some of the Parma players tonight. 8 minutes into the second half, 53 played on. Capital goal with Tennis Pilsen and the Lager with a difference. It's Arsenal 1, Parma 0 in the European Cup Winners' Cup final. It's a free kick 10 yards inside the Parma half, and there's going to be a caution here for Ian Selly for not taking the kick quickly enough. I wonder when FIFA and UEFA look back at this game whether they will think Václav Krondl, the referee from the Czech Republic, of whom I guess a lot of you would have heard nothing, of whom I guess a lot of you will hear nothing more, whether UEFA will think it was a bad decision. Davis chips it into the box, Ball gets half a header onto it, and the keeper easily saves.
Well, I think Ian Selly was waiting for the referee to blow his whistle. Maybe he had, in all the confusion, blown it a few seconds earlier, but you could see he was completely innocent, completely taken by surprise. I think the three officials have been disgraceful tonight, but it is getting a little bit ragged. Not as bad as when I used to play, when you played against Italian teams. That was really bad.
Now here's Zola, centre forward position, lovely lay back to him by Asprilla. Juggles with it, conjures with it, slips it back to Brolin, inside right position, swaps passes with Minotti, chops across. Dixon heads it away as Cripper ridiculously flings himself theatrically through the air on the edge of the box, and Arsenal lump it into the Parma half, and it's played back by Apolloni to his goalkeeper, Luca Bucci. Luca Bucci, once sent on loan to lowly Casatana, then Reggiana, rejoined Parma to replace Claudio Taffarel. Now clears it away downfield. Adams was there, so too Asprilla, may well have got hurt in that one. Adams clears, Kevin Campbell, good control. Apolloni was behind him. Referee's given the free kick for Arsenal's way, and Apolloni looks to the referee and quite rightly shakes his head and says why. Anyway, free kick to Arsenal, we shouldn't complain. Dixon square to Davis. Davis wide again to Dixon, right hand side from me. Back in 10 yards to his left, he spins it to Selly. Good ball, one of the best of the night, 30 yards away to Winterburn. Winterburn touches it off towards Paul Merson. Winterburn's gone wide. Merson turns and runs to the box here now. Slips it wide to Winterburn. Winterburn's cross had to be first time off balance behind for a goal kick. And a goal kick away to Parma, away to my left hand side. Chelsea pull one back at home to Coventry. Tony Cascarino scores for the second consecutive game, then making a late bid perhaps for an FA Cup final appearance. Capital goal. Shouting for the Blues in their first Wembley FA Cup final appearance since 1970 on Saturday week. All the build-up and all the action right here on 1548. Tony Adams underneath this goalkeeper's clearance. Head back into the centre circle. Young Ian Sully, but 19, unbelievably, in a European Cup Winners' Cup final, was fouled from behind. England under-18 international. Surrey Schools once played in goal for the Arsenal when a trainee at Highbury. Played in every position on the field, they tell me, before he settled down into a midfield central role. A hurrier and a scurrier, and he puts it about as well. The Arsenal players now move forward. It's a free kick. A free kick to be taken by Steve Bold. Launches one away towards the right. Kevin Campbell heads it on towards Alan Smith. Smith charging away towards the right hand side. Draws Sensini, gets the cross back, which is blocked by Minotti. And again they can clear through Massimo Creeper. Creeper's long probing clearance, and Asprilla is off after it, and a magnificent challenge. Steve Bold in the England B squad to play against Northern Ireland next Wednesday at Hillsborough has been a tower of strength at the back with Tony Adams, and it's a throw in on the left hand side. But Parma, for me, are being allowed ominously to push the ball forward and play the game too much in Arsenal's half, as Selly will try and drag it clear now, sliding it on Gabriele Pin back into the centre circle, and Minotti can break forward again. Here's the sweeper then, tall, upright, graceful, square towards Nestor Sensini, the shorter of the two, and wide towards Di Chiara on the left hand side. Finds Asprilla and goes quickly off for the 1-2, blocked by Dixon and tonked away again by Ian Selly. Arsenal, every man back inside their own half. They didn't push up. Are they playing too deep? I worry. And here we are now with a ball pushed wide to Di Chiara. In support he has Massimo Creep on the left hand side, in the yellow of Parma with the blue epaulets. Arsenal in their red and white shorts, of course. Parma beginning to weave patterns and push it around neatly. They're not hurting Arsenal, not back here. Will they now, as they find on this right hand side Gabriele Pin? Knocks it over the head of Merson, gets there first to turn inside Smith and roll square to Minotti. Minotti cruises forward at pace and thunders in a low bobbler. It's a daisy cutter and it's away, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal. And Minotti, did he follow through on Tony Adams? I don't know, but he picks himself up, and it's a goal kick to be taken by Dave Seaman. Has been played with a little bit of ill grace about the game, but Arsenal lead Parma by a goal to nil, and 57 minutes have been played. Who's the more worried? Nevio Scala, the 46-year-old who used to play with AC and Roma, Vincenzo, Fiorentina, Foggia, Monza, and now Arsenal look for Campbell up front. Or will it be George Graham, who used to play with Villa and Chelsea, and of course the Gunners, a Fairs Cup winner in 1970. Here's Thomas Brolin forward now for Parma. Nevio Scala, his manager, will grimace at that. Arsenal regain possession. The Arsenal manager George Graham will grimace at the foul on Paul Merson. Arsenal take it quickly, and Davis swings it away towards Winterburn. In the green, open, wide spaces on the left as Brolin closes. He hooks it forward. Alan Smith took a tumble. Unimpeded he was. Only through to goalkeeper Luca Buccio, throws it away. And ever present in the European Cup Winners' Cup this season with 5 clean sheets, has conceded 4. Dave Seaman, on the other hand, has conceded 3. And here now is Gianfranco Zola. Up front and square. To his right he finds Thomas Brolin. He nudges it back to Pin, and Ian Selly stands off him and now closes, and Pin sweeps it across towards the right 10 yards. Merson blocks it as Arsenal lead by a goal to nil on 59 minutes. Apolloni then back towards Sensini. A long white taper of toilet paper, I think, on the far side comes swirling down over the lower tier of the C Fregot stand. And now it's a little chip into the box by Brolin. Asprilla offside. Free kick given inside the Arsenal box. Asprilla continues to look an unhappy man. A title winner with Nacional in 1991 in South America. The 1992 Olympics, he played for Colombia. They finished bottom. He moved to Parma, unbelievably on the strength of performances there. Alleged investigations, alleged associations with Pablo Escobar, the drug baron. It never came to anything. Unfounded. Asprilla, one of the top players in Europe. And here moving out of the defence, Antonio Benarivo, one of the top young fullbacks in Europe. Swings it away to his fullback partner, Alberto Di Chiara, on the hour now for Parma. Up towards the centre forward position and laid wide by Massimo Crippa. Away towards the left. There's Zola now. A high arc ball, and Brolin can head balls like that into the penalty area any hour of the day, Steve Wilson.
Yeah,
at your end.
Look at Thomas Brolin and Faustino Asprilla having a go at each other after Brolin headed the ball straight into the penalty area to Dave Seaman. Asprilla wanted it laying off towards the edge of the penalty area. The Parma fans are being completely outsung by the Arsenal hordes at the opposite end of the ground, and they're getting frustrated indeed, those yellow and blue Parma supporters.
A road that started in Odense on the island of Funen and comes here to Zeeland and Copenhagen and sees Arsenal taking on Parma in the final of the Coppa della Coppa, and leading Parma by a goal to nil, reaches the hour mark with Tennent's Pilsen and the lager with a difference. All the Arsenal substitutes warming up. There's Steady Eddie, there's Ray Parlour with the long blonde baby doll looks down below me. He will not thank me for reminding you of the colour of his hair as Gianfranco Zola tries a 1-2 with baby-faced Thomas Brolin, and Arsenal clear it away towards Kevin Campbell, lays it off towards Ian Selly square to Alan Smith, and he plays it back to Paul Magic Man Merson through looking for Kevin Campbell. Arsenal don't need to give the ball away while they have possession. Parma simply cannot score, and Massimo Crippa through the inside left position rolls wide to Alberto Di Chiara. Chiara works it onto his right foot, hoisting the cross. Asprilla rises, so too Steve Bold. It comes away then towards Gabriele Pin, and a little touch off to Antonio Benarivo. Crossfield jaunt from right to left. Here is Minotti, the sweeper up to Zola. It'll lay off to Crippo, tries a cannon, it bounces off Morrow's backside. Thank goodness for Arsenal. And Davis touches it to Dixon, and Dixon balloons the clearance, and Arsenal look a little bit leg weary here, Frank. Or do my eyes deceive me?
No, they don't really. What they're doing is they're defending too deep. Their midfield players are coming back on top of their back four, and they're being overprotective. Then when they get the ball, there's only Alan Smith up against 2 or 3 players, so the ball is returning just into the Parma's possession again. And this is the best spell that Parma have had ever since the first 5 minutes of the game, and they're really, although they're not getting any goal scoring chances as yet, they're putting a lot of pressure on Arsenal, and that eventually tires you and makes you make mistakes.
A green glazed Subbuteo pitch we have in front of us, immaculate. Grass perhaps a little bit long and energy sapping. It's a throw in on the right hand side. Pitch black skies we have here. 20-10 our time, 20-9 back in Blighty. Arsenal fans, don't celebrate too early down there at Terry Neal's bar. We'll be back with you. Hopefully celebrations later as Dixon comes forward to try and slam it across. Bounces back to him. Pin is down. The ball squeezed into the box. Campbell was there and Apolloni gets it away. Fine challenge it was by Minotti as Parma sweep downfield, and Bold is quickly to react. Bold launches the clearance away over the halfway line. How to play it goes. Throw into Parma. Halfway inside their own half, and the goalkeeper Luca Bucci will take it. Throws short then towards Lorenzo Minotti. Minotti, they say, is the new replacement for Franco Baresi for Italy. Played for the Serie A team against the Football League not so long ago. Italy international, 1 cap. It came against France the other day. Nudges it square into the centre circle. Creeper forward. Bold rushes in front of Zola. Nearly lost possession. Morrow clips it onto Paul Davis. Squeezes it up towards Alan Smith. Holds it up brilliantly. Turns, was fouled. Oh, that is lovely. Lovely old-fashioned skills from an elongated, stretched, gangling centre forward. And Paul Merson from the left-hand side for Arsenal loses possession again to Gabriele Pin. Gabriele Pin down the line. Oh, lovely turn in by Asprilla. Away from Bold. Checks back in. Bold swings his foot at it. Asprilla can't get it the 3rd time, but his first touch and turn was magical. And Winterburn can clear it over the halfway line. Smith rises. Brilliant layback to Davis. He'll wait to release wide to his right, and Lee Dixon can tank on now for Arsenal. Into the spaces. Apolloni moves out. Up to Campbell. Nudges back inside right position to Paul Davis for Arsenal at 64 on the clock and 1-0 Gunners. Dixon has it on the right hand side now. Campbell moves to the right hand corner of the box. He's chipped it, floated it forward, and Campbell couldn't get a touch on. It's through into the hands of Luca Bucci. Your end, Julian Waters.
Well, that's the closest Arsenal have been in the entire second half, and really Campbell almost just waved a leg at it as he came over his shoulder. They've got to put some pressure on and take a bit of it off the defence of the midfielder, who are working so hard.
Every corner of the Adriatsparken Stadium covered on capital gold. The Parma fans still sitting and moping in what they used to call the expensive stand here. When in my right hand side it used to be the main stand. The pitch used to run down its length. It's now been turned 90 degrees. And moving down the right hand side now. Oh, suddenly Parma got a man over. Benarivo, danger here for Arsenal. Benarivo square. It's a spree on his left foot. He's shot. Oh, and it's wide. And Arsenal moved out. Zola was caught in an offside position. The flag didn't come up for offside, but it's a goal kick anyway to Arsenal. And when Asprilla gets into a shooting position, suddenly a yellow mist descends before my eyes, and I think it could be curtains for the Gunners in the European Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah, those Parma fans are on their feet again. The linesman actually did put his flag up down on this near side. Referee said take a goal kick anyway, Dave Seaman. The linesman's flag was a little bit late. Every time Parma get in and around that penalty area, some of their supporters will look for a penalty kick. When they had that big shout earlier in the half, which was turned down, a hail of missiles and bits of paper and coins were thrown into the penalty area as the Parma supporters start looking at their watches.
Steve Wilson, man, away to my right hand end in this second half. It's the defending end for Arsenal fans. Away on the attacking end, Alan Smith is pulled up for a foul, shrugging off Nesta Sensini, and the referee incurs the wrath of Arsenal's travelling 15,000, perhaps from the Lord Nelson pub down in Dover is that I can see in red lettering on a white background. So many banners. There's an Irish tricolour there as well. Arsenal, of course, with that traditional Irish flavour over the years with Pat Rice and Sammy Nelson and Chippy Brady and the great David O'Leary. Here's the great Thomas Brolin moving forward now at cruising pace. Finds Asprilla 10 yards outside the box. Releases wide and left. In comes across from Di Chiara. Nearly drops to Zola. Winterburn saw the danger, heads it away. Asprilla follows up, tries to run through the Arsenal. Advancing red wall. Adams gets the foot in. He will clear to Campbell. Di Chiara is the man on. Kevin Campbell slips it square towards Paul Davis, and Davis the easy ball away towards the right fullback position. Dixon's there. Easy to Davis. This is what Arsenal need to do. Back to Tony Adams. Spins it to Steve Bold, who dummied it. Nearly comes through to Nigel Winterburn. Does so now. Winterburn plays it forward to Smith as Merson breaking to his left. Pushes back to Selly. Lovely patient football by Arsenal. To Davis, not the quickest in the world. Still gets there in front of Creeper. Needs support from behind him. Here's Dixon, right fullback. Selly to his left-hand side. Selly will nudge it back into his own half. Adams is a poor square ball. Brolin can intercept. Squeezes it out wide for Asprilla, and Arsenal are stretched again here. Asprilla down the right-hand side. Zola's in the D. Bowl backs away from Asprilla. Asprilla into the penalty area. Works onto his left foot. Little chip. Offside in the box against Thomas Brolin. Free kick Arsenal. And again you think, all that Arsenal possession, were they going to throw it away with one sloppy square ball? What should they have been doing then, Frank McClintock?
Well, it was just a bad executed pass by Tony Adams. Originally, I think they took chances trying to squeeze the ball in between two Parma players when they should have knocked it back to David Seaman, let him calm the game down, sort of just settle down a little bit, calm down, because they're not having a lot of possession and they're definitely getting a little bit tired. And although there's a couple of chances only come up for Parma, they are still looking fairly dangerous, and the overall effect can be that the Arsenal players lose a half a yard, and that gives them an opportunity of maybe equalising in this match.
So the advice from Frank McClintock comes Harry Enfield Scouser style. Calm down Arsenal, who have a throw in on the right hand side, and Lee Dixon takes the throw in towards the dead ball line. Alan Smith is across there to hoist it back to the England fullback. Checks, lovely ball, roll back to Paul Davis, 5 yards in from the far touchline. Chipped into the penalty area. There's Merson trying to win it in the air. Benarivo though got the higher. Merson shrugs him off it, and that's a free kick. It's a free kick to Parma. Merson grimaces and swears at Benarivo, who cursed him in Italian, and I don't think Merson was a lucky man there. I think it was shoulder to shoulder, and Parma about to send on Alessandro Melli, the 24-year-old Sicilian Italian international, under 21 international, who's transfer listed, say he's not going to wait in the reserves anymore. 29 games this season and 8 goals. It's an attacker they're going to send on as Sensini moves into the Arsenal half. Right hand side on the extremity, being chased all the way by Alan Smith. On capital goal with Tennis Pills and the Lager with the difference. We've been playing 69 minutes. It's 1-0 Arsenal, and Adams moves out of the defence, slips it forward to Campbell, back again to his skipper, who comes square to Alan Smith on the left hand side. Smith is confronted by Gabriele Pin. He's lost it, and suddenly Parma look by far the stronger here. Pin now driving at the Arsenal penalty area. Square looks for Zola, little head down to Kripa, finds Di Chiara arriving on the edge of the box, tried to get onto his right foot. Dixon jumped in there, blocked the challenge, and Seaman sweeps it away downfield again. A high hook clearance. Smith is up front with Sensini. Smith trying to clamber all over Sensini. Free kick given. Sensini rolls it away towards Antonio Benerivo. Benerivo missed virtually the whole of the last month with a leg injury. Now through the middle. Was he caught a little bit late by Selly? No, he wasn't, says the referee. Zola couldn't win possession back again. Arsenal have it right fullback position. Dixon chips up to Alan Smith. Smith heads it off beautifully to Merson. Merson gliding through. Campbell on the edge of the penalty area for him. Tried to nick it through. Took a deflection off Sensini. And it's run away up the back again by Benerivo, who has gulped large, huge yards to get back into that position to clear it away. Back come Arsenal then with Bold in possession just inside his own half. Square towards Lee Dixon. Spread it Arsenal. Stretch him Arsenal. Run him down and waste the energy. Down the left hand side. Smith tries to control it. And back for Parma comes Massimo Kripa. Kripa then scored the winner away in the San Siro, 2-0 in the Super Cup this season. Made his Italian debut against Scotland, I seem to remember. But they're going nowhere fast on the far side. Eventually the clouted clearance drops to Steve Bold's half volley back inside the Parma half. Tony Adams it was, I beg your pardon. And now Parma will make the substitution. And Gabriele Pin will go off. And on then will come Alessandro Melli. 12 goals last season, the leading scorer. 8 goals this season, and on he comes, and Gabriele Pin goes off.
Well, it's quite a lot of tired legs out there, really, and I thought Pin had an excellent game, especially the first half. But then they settled down, the Arsenal, and they changed their tactics a little bit, and that quietened them down a little bit. But they're obviously really going out for attack. They're going to put Melli up alongside Asprilla, I think, just to give a little bit more punch. They certainly have most of this first half, but apart from a couple of occasions, they haven't really penetrated the Arsenal back four.
So we have on 15:48, 20 minutes to go in the European Cup Winners' Cup final of 1994. Arsenal 1, Parma 0 on 15:48 with Tennent's Pilsner, the lager with a difference. As a little header on by Paul Davis is matched by Asprilla, Faustino Asprilla, simply hooking it straight out of play. And Arsenal can live with this. They have possession on the right-hand side, and Lee Dixon, who missed that League Cup final last season, the Coca-Cola band, now throws down the line towards Kevin Campbell, twists, turns it inside, it bounces off Minotti and it's thumped away downfield, only as far as Tony Adams, caught it on his chest, then on the volley through, and offside is given against Kevin Campbell coming back, and that'll be a free kick awarded on the far side by Josef Zvonic, the linesman from the Czech Republic. The other linesman on this near side, Otakar Skreččić, and it's now Lorenzo Minotti. Minotti through. Bold always comes straight through his man there. It's a challenge from behind on Melli that finds Bold with a nasty injury. Melli has gone down. Asprilla arguing with the referee. He wants more action here on Steve Bold for the challenge. May well have jarred his knee as he went in for that one. And the referee is saying play on. He's not allowing treatment for Steve Bold. He's out of position. Davis sees the danger and drops back. But Gianfranco Zola has it. Square then across the heart of the midfield. And here's a Minotti moving forward. Away towards Alberto Di Chiara, 10 yards out on that far left-hand side, 2 yards in from the left-hand touchline, low cross thumped away by Selly, only as far as Minotti, De Brolin inside left position, turns with Morrow in front of him, chips into the penalty, and Melli's header plops gently into the hands of Dave Seaman, and Dave Seaman will hold on to it and calm things down in that box.
Absolutely, I'm pleased to see Steve Bold got up there. I think it was a touch of cramp, which is very painful, but if the referee says play on like he did do, then you've got to get up and you've got to suffer the pain and get back into that 18-yard box, and that's exactly what he did. And then Dave Seaman just calmed things down, and Arsenal must try and keep possession as long as possible.
16 minutes to go. Arsenal leading Parma of Italy by a goal to nil, the holders of the Cup Winners' Cup. Little chip down the line by Nigel Winterburn, and Alan Smith may well have been caught backing in or offside, I'm not too sure, but it's a free kick anyway. A ball was rolling when Sensini took it to Minotti. He has square of him Thomas Brolin. He hasn't really got into the game, all credit to Arsenal for that. Brolin's chip on the halfway line though, finds now moving forward Di Chiara through towards Kripa square to his right hand side, 5 yards away from Gianfranco Zola, taps it forward to Asprilla. Bold gets in a vital challenge, Morrow clips it away, Zola will chase down on Merson, who holds it up and away towards his left hand side, cannons it against Gianfranco Zola. Did just the right thing there, Merson, slowly, catchy monkey, across came Zola, clipped it against him, and away it goes for a throw-in to Arsenal, well won by Paul Merson. Old head then on Paul Merson's shoulder. Throw-in taken by Nigel Winterburn, forward towards Alan Smith. Smith pushes it back halfway line to Winterburn. Arsenal at the moment drawing Parma's fire. Down the line to Smith, chips it forward, Campbell will surge across. Sensini was there first. Sensini back to his goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper Bucci will roll it away to Di Chiara on the left-hand side. Short to Crippa, bends it adventurously across the face of his back four to Benarivo, touches it back again to Nestor Sensini, and through to the heart of midfield when Minotti now finds Gianfranco Zola, sprinting away down the right-hand side as the fullback Benarivo over his head. Winterburn closed on him, forcing him wider. Benarivo chips it over the head of the Arsenal fullback, who turns the quicker, but needed the support of the lumbering Steve Bold to cannon it away, and out of play it goes, and it's a throw-in then. It's a throw-in to Parma on the right-hand side, taken by Benarivo. Arsenal warming up Andy Linnigan. In comes the cross then. The cross was disappointing by Faustino Asprilla, and Arsenal can clear it away, and they have an injury worry to Nigel Winterburn again, who's gone down just outside his own penalty area. The referee has stopped play. Parma fans incensed by this in their yellow and blue. A cup is thrown out from the upper tier above me, a plastic cup, and lands on the head of one of the UEFA VIP members in the first row down in front of us, and Gary Lewin is being told to get Nigel Winterburn off the field of play. David Seaman is being pelted here by coins from the Parma fans. Coins and missiles being hurled from the Parma end. David Seaman has been hit on the back of his head. Nigel Winterburn, I think, was hit originally by some missile thrown. As he turned, Winterburn was hit by some missile. He's down, he's hurt on the back of his head, and this is disgraceful. And Parma here could be in very, very big trouble with the UEFA officials watching on. Don't forget that Lennart Johansson, the president of UEFA, and Arsenal here are worried. Nigel Winterburn is out. He's totally out cold. The ball was crashed in from the right-hand side. Whether it was the thunderous Asprilla cross that caught him or a missile from behind. Oh, look at this. This is disgraceful. The Arsenal physiotherapist Gary Lewin is being pelted by coins. This is horrendous, and this is not English fans misbehaving. This is the fan. These are the fans. I can't even call them this. This is the scum of Italian football here. The scum of Italian football. Raining coins and missiles down, not on a player, but on a medicine man, on a physiotherapist. The physiotherapist of Arsenal, Gary Lewin, is being hit by coins. A flare comes out from the far stand. It lands in red seating, thank goodness, and no one was hurt. The referee has had a word, I think, on this near side. The UEFA fourth official is out there with George Graham, who is having a word here, and he is absolutely worried, and I think the referee will call the players off, I think, any moment now if this continues. As it is, he's bouncing the ball on the halfway line. Arsenal still warming up substitutes. Eddie McGoldrick is warming up. He can play left back. Paul Merson is being told at the moment to fill in for the prostrate Nigel Winterburn, who will play no further part in this game, and Parma should play no further part in European football because of this. A long raking ball through the middle. You can't allow this to happen, Frank McClintock.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what I'm disappointed as well, apart from those people who are throwing coins, is what is the police or the stewards doing about it? They're just absolutely standing as though nothing's happening, and that's a very serious offence. Quite easily you could lose your eye, you could do all sorts of damage, and it's a disgrace to the few Italian fans that have actually done it. I've actually seen an Italian supporter at the front turning around to his own supporters and saying, hey, stop, we don't need to do that.
Most of them have been magnificently behaved in Copenhagen over the last 3 or 4 days. I must stress that, as Arsenal's lone front runner Kevin Campbell takes up the chase on the left-hand side now. We're back to football. To Alan Smith, shrugs off the challenge from Sensini, 5 yards outside the penalty area, rolls it back to Merson, tight with Morrow, who chips it long down the left. Campbell standing statuesque, and it'll be a push-back ball by Benarivo to the goalkeeper, who will get it away downfield. I think I saw a Coke cup or something like that thrown out from the far side. Nigel Winterburn's back on the pitch for Arsenal. Winterburn's come back onto the pitch. That's great news. Eddie McGoldrick has stood down again in the dugout, but moving forward now with a shot from outside the penalty area. Melly bounces it straight into the hands of Dave Seaman, And the Parma fans who have been well behaved in Copenhagen will be disgusted with the antics of some of their own hooligans in there. We don't see that anymore in English football, really. Such a disappointment on a European showpiece final. And now I think the PA system is barking out a warning to the Parma fans. As Smith rises high, heads off to Campbell, out towards Paul Davis. Arsenal, will they answer that sort of scum hooliganism in the best possible way? 78 minutes gone as Campbell tries to career down the right-hand side. Davis can't get through. Lent into the marker and a free kick is given. Free kick to Parma inside their own half. 2 yards in for the far touchline and touched off, and again it'll be Minotti to chip through. Flat it was that time to Creeper. Halfway line Zola being pursued by the ever-present Stephen Morrow. He's stuck to his task magnificently tonight, Stephen Morrow. It's a throw into Arsenal on their right. Morrow simply walks away as Zola taps it straight out of play. Dixon lets him chase off after it, picks the ball up to Zola, throws it back to Dixon who has to throw in on the right hand side. Down the line it goes. Smith is across there, also across there and winning possession back again, and he'll clear it away. Downfield is Luigi Apolloni. Steps inside now. Will clear it for Parma through Creeper. The pull pushed back by Gianfranco Zola to Thomas Brolin, who comes square. Nesta Sensini can career over the halfway line. Here comes Sensini now. Checks back square again to Thomas Brolin. Score of 12 goals this season, Brolin. Out towards that left-hand side, and Alberto Di Chiara, the 30-year-old, can attack again. Bowl gets a vital foot in. Brolin heads forward, and up front again for Parma. They look wide for Benarivo, the right fullback. Gets a sliding challenge in, block challenge in on Winterburn. The ball fizzes square. Zola wriggles away now. Looks to push it wide to Benarivo. Merson is blocking off that route, and Winterburn can scuttle away. Nigel Winterburn dispossesses his man, careers down the left-hand side and runs it straight out of play. We'll need to move pretty sharpish back into a position. Arsenal have worked tremendously hard for one another. Throw in taken and collected by Massimo Creeper and worked out wide again to Sensini. 10 yards inside the Arsenal half on capital goal with Terence Bilson and the Lago with the difference. We have 10 minutes to go and Arsenal lead 1-0. There will be around about 4 minutes of stoppage time, I warn you. Here's Faustino Asprilla turning away from Adams, who nudges it back to his goalkeeper Seaman, and Seaman clears it away downfield. A high clearance that Apolloni heads powerfully back with a craning of the neck muscles. Morrow leaps with Brolin, who won it to Gianfranco Zola. Slightly right of centre, chips up towards Asprilla in the box. Dixon takes it away from him and Seaman clears downfield. Smith holds it up. Sensini bit into his ankles. Smith releases Merson, taps it back again to the gangling centre forward and leader of the Arsenal front line, who turns the easy and wise ball away to the open space to the right. Dixon via deflection arcs it up into the Parma half, comes through to Kevin Campbell. Was there a push from behind? There was. The push was young Ian Selly by Luigi Apolloni, one of 6 men booked in this game. Free kick nudged forward down the right by Davis, looking for Campbell, trying to turn his man, fights back for it now for Arsenal. We need to slide in on Massimo Creeper. Creeper rides the challenge, the 28-year-old Italian international, booms it forward looking for a spree, and Arsenal get it away. Here's Davis with time on his hand, he's nudged a silly ball back to Tony Adams, had to stretch to find Lee Dixon, returns it down the line to Davis, first time there and wide to Kevin Campbell, 5 yards inside the Parma half. Silly 1-2 with Davis has put him in trouble. Davis goes forward, Apolloni gets the challenge in, play on, says the referee. Arsenal fans disgusted. Good fair challenge it was though by Luigi Apolloni. Missed 3 league games this season, Apolloni, as Davis goes down, hurt by the challenge. The ball is run away again over the halfway line, collected here by Alessandro Romelli to run through the middle, goes past Morrow through to Asprilla, who turns, no free kick given, it cannons off Winterburn, and Merson hooks it 40-50 yards to the halfway line. Davis still down, Gary Lewin the physio, and an anxious man on the halfway line. The whistling from the Arsenal fans and a lovely touch. Lovely to see sportsmanship at this stage of the game, and Lee Dixon shakes the hands of Alberto Di Chiara, who turned and saw that it was Paul Davis down and realises that Paul Davis is not that sort of player. And now look, Arsenal have another injury worry on the edge of their own penalty area. Steve Bold has gone down with cramp once again. Nigel Winterburn and Dave Seaman working those muscles. Your end, Steve Wilson.
Yes, they are. Steve Bold went down off the ball. It's certainly cramp. It's Nigel Winterburn and Dave Seaman trying to deal with that, because at the other end Gary Lewin is fully employed dealing with Paul Davis, and a stretcher has come out for Paul Davis.
Paul Davis looks as if he's going to be stretching off. I thought for a minute there, Julian Waters, he was going to be okay.
It looked like he was, didn't it? It didn't look as serious as the Winterburn one when he was down for ages. I wonder if it's cramp. I wonder if they're just trying to get him off the pitch so that the play can go on and Gary Lewin can get on with it. I think it might be cramp.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay in a couple of minutes. Let's hope so. Throw in taken by Arsenal, and Dixon returns it deep into the Parma half. An Arsenal banner is raised on the far side, just above the advertising hoardings, and the ball is slipped through towards Gianfranco Zola. The advertising hoardings, advertising a beer far, far inferior to Tennant's Pilsner, the lager with a difference, in my opinion, on 15:48 a.m. And the ball now is again back inside the Parma half, and look at Luca Bucci running away and sprinting out of his penalty area, and the Arsenal fans love that as well. Took the throw in short to Gianfranco Zola. Zola, a square ball across towards Creeper. Creeper then has it centre circle. Creeper through towards the figure of Asprilla. Paul Davis is back on the field again, and now Creeper has it to Gianfranco Zola. Zola to the centre circle, and up comes the tall figure of Lorenzo Minotti. Been right up through the ranks in Parma's brief history, as they find Benarivo away down the right hand side, but he can't keep it in play. It's a throw into Arsenal as we enter Frank McClintock, the nervy last 5 minutes, plus of course 3 or 4 for stoppage time, and thank goodness the crowd troubles have stopped.
Yes, I'm pleased as well, and I think that Arsenal are going to hold on here. You're almost scared to say that in case you put something on them, but they are really battling well. They're very tired legs out there, and I'm sure that some of the Italian fans see when the Arsenal players go down that they're play acting and wasting time, but they're not. It's a long, long, hard season. They've put in so much into this game, and they're going down like 9 pins at the moment.
Now here's Asprilla to attack the box again. Just taps it square, goes for a turn. Did it hit Steve Bold on the hand? The Parma fans say yay, the referee says nay. Ball to hand, perhaps. Now the fullback has it. Benarivo, 5 yards in from this near tide. Square across the midfield area. They try and drive it through. Blocked again, it was by Davis, and arced forward by Ian Selly. It's desperate stuff for Arsenal now. They're carrying walking wounded in Bold, in Davis, in perhaps Nigel Winterburn, who's still groggy after being hit from a missile from the fans. And Creeper runs it away for Parma. Out towards the left-hand side. Di Chiara has it. Campbell goes with him, so Di Chiara rolls it back again to... Here he comes now, Creeper. Creeper, the little square border Brolin, who's dropped deep. Morrow's kept him in his back pocket all night. Squaring away towards Sensini. Out on this right-hand side, and Benarivo rolls it back again, and Melli's high hanging cross into the box. Brought down inside the box by Asprilla, and Adams kept his feet, drives it away. Only as far as Creeper's shot over the bar. Oh, and I'll tell you what, it's time to get the fingernails chomped in the gob, because it's nervy last 5 minute time. The shot was over the bar. Eddie McGoldrick, steady Eddie, prepares to come on. How close was it, Steve Wilson?
It was actually probably about 1.5 yards over the top of Dave Seaman's crossbar. I don't think he would have been beaten by that, but the fingernails are disappearing fast into the last 4 minutes. Arsenal making a substitution. They've run for absolutely everything, and look at those Arsenal fans.
McGoldrick on, Merson off. McGoldrick, a fresh pair of legs on the left to run him down. The Arsenal banners are unfurled again and waved to my left-hand side. McGoldrick rises with Benarivo, who's lost his bearings, and Arsenal hack down the left of Smith. Halfway inside the Parma half. He'll settle for a throw-in, given away by Apolloni. We have 4 minutes to go on Capital Gold, and there's a throw-in on the left-hand side that Nigel Winterburn will take. Winterburn for Arsenal has Steady Eddie jogging towards him. Throws long down the line for Alan Smith, who goes down. He was clipped from behind, no free kick given. Goal kick only to Parma, away to my left-hand side. He's lost his booters, Alan Smith. Well, it'll be absolutely magnificent if the winning goal in this Cup Winners' Cup final is scored by one of the most likeable, honest, working players in the game, Alan Smith. Now the ball is chipped wide by Sensini, out towards the left-hand side. Galloping into the Arsenal half again is Di Chiara. Checks back. Will he chip it forward to the edge of the box? No, it's blocked, and Ian Selly hacks it high, and away it goes. Back inside the Parma half. It's picked up by Sensini. Sensini looks away towards the right. 3 minutes to go. Brolin has overrun it. McGoldrick in quickly, and then picks himself up as Selly chips it wide for the Republic of Ireland international, who can only loop it out of play under pressure from Benarivo. Benarivo picks himself up again and prepares to take this throw in short towards Apolloni. Chip long for Asprilla. There's Bold with Asprilla, turns away to his left hand side. Danger, here's the edge of the box. Did Davis handle it? It's offside. It's offside. And Asprilla then was caught by the flag and made a very, very indecent gesture towards the linesman on this near touch line. And again, if that's picked up by TV, and that's seen by European officials. I think he will be in big trouble then as he goes back to Italian football, and I think there will be a UEFA look into events in this game, McClintock.
Yes, there's been one or two nasty moments, haven't there? And that incident with the crowd wasn't nice at all, and that was the sort of thing that could cause trouble after the game. So thankfully that is quieting down. Steve Bold still looks in a bit of trouble though. He's struggling badly with the cramp.
2 minutes to go though, as Ian Sally pushes on from midfield, and Alan Smith applauds the referee's decision for a push by Apolloni. Free kick to Arsenal, run down a couple more precious seconds. The red and white banners are twirled and unfurled away to my left hand side. I can see a lion rampant there as well. A red lion rampant on a yellow background, a Scottish World Cup flag of yore. It's a free kick that'll be taken by Paul Davis, very much a star of present day. Campbell and Smith, the scissors movement on the edge of the box, but Davis chips wide to the left, and McGoldrick, can he run at Benarivo here and make a real folk hero for himself? McGoldrick's chip on, it's an easy save by Luca Bucci, this diminutive 5'9" goalkeeper who clawed at thin air as Alan Smith's rasping 20-minute drive bit the back of the net and bulged, and Arsenal went 1-0 up, and Dixon drives down the right hand side here. He's running them down, Smith alone up front. It was a tired square ball that Sensini blocks and rolls away then to Lorenzo Minotti. Minotti away towards the far side, and that ball is collected on the far side by Faustino Asprilla all the way back there. Chips via a little head on. It was a good head on by Massimo Kripa to Thomas Brolin. Inside the Arsenal half, Gianfranco Zola wide to Benarivo, who's played this second half as a right winger virtually. Here he is again then, tight on this near side. Winterburn heads it out of play. We're into injury time now on Capital Gold, and it's a throw in on the right, and Benarivo will take the throw in. Anxious, heart-searching seconds for Arsenal these. Benarivo into the box, Adams rises and heads away. Brolin follows it up, Winterburn cannons it out, and McGoldrick stood an appeal to the referee for handball against Brolin. It wasn't given. It's Benarivo taking a throw in, getting it on the right hand side, turning away from the tiring Morrow. In comes across, Seaman rises and gathers and catches, and a mighty roar goes up away to my left hand side from the Arsenal heroes. Arsenal are seconds away from European glory for the first time since 1970, and that famous night when they beat Anderlecht on April the 28th 3-0, and John Samuels got the Fairs Cup winner. They'll be tasting European glory, and Campbell away down the right hand side. He's fouled, as he no free kick given. Says Di Chiara, get up, he pats him on the back sportingly, and away downfield it goes by Luca Bucci, headed powerfully back by Steve Bold. Brolin in the midfield area knocks it forward then to Massimo Kripa. We've been playing a minute and 5 of stoppage time. Alessandro Melli to run, Melli wide to the right hand corner of the box. Here they're driving it again. Zola's cross is blocked by Winterburn, heads it away to Eddie McGoldrick. McGoldrick will run it down on this near side. He's got Winterburn behind him in support. Smith moving forward on the halfway line now, decides against the risky chip and finds Morrow the easy ball away diagonally to his right. Over the halfway line, Smith, but it's offside against Campbell on the right. No one had noticed him out there except the linesman Joseph Zvonic, and it's chipped forward again, but Ian Selly blocks as Brolin rises high. He's blown his whistle as it's a free kick only to Arsenal, and Kevin Campbell had his hands raised on the far side. He thought it was all over. Ooh, I wish I could say that famous saying, but we've still got to go through a couple more seconds. Dixon has it for Arsenal, chips it a long way. The Parma fans are almost downtrodden and down in the dumps, but here they come again. Di Chiara to Alessandro Melli. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Melli twists and turns, and Tony Adams will block it. Adams clears, is again loose on the edge of the penalty. That's a woeful shank of a pass by Kripa. Back towards the halfway line, Smith away to steady Eddie McGoldrick to run him down now. Nudges it past his man, but Benarivo has got the legs. He's one of the best fullbacks in European football at the moment, this man, Antonio Benarivo. And now Parma again move forward from an old left half position. Here they come again with a sweep of Lorenzo Minotti. Not for him this season, perhaps. Goal glory as he scored on 9 minutes in last year's final. A little chip forward by Benarivo, headed offside on the edge of the box. It was. The linesman's flag catches Alessandro Melli, and the free kick is given to Arsenal on the edge of their own penalty area. 2 minutes to go on Capital Goal. Dave Seaman will take this free kick. 2 minutes, I'm guessing, on stoppage time. It's Dave Seaman to take the free kick. 93 minutes played. Seaman will take the free kick then for Arsenal. Long downfield. Smith is underneath it, and barging back rattling leap with Menotti, and Benarivo hooks high towards the halfway line. There underneath it is Bold to head forward. Offside catches Kevin Campbell. The Arsenal fans think it's a full-time whistle. Not yet, boys. Now here's Gianfranco Zola way to the left-hand side. The referee, where's your watchman? They're attacking now in strength and with danger. Little chip ball offside in the middle of the linesman. Flag is raised. Have they seen it? It's in the back of the net, but the referee's given the free kick. It was Menotti who shot home, but the referee had already blown, and a spree is furious again. Across comes Benarivo, puts a goggle sign to his eyes and says to the linesman, where's your glasses, man? The referee and the linesman will show him no pity, and neither will UEFA again for that sort of gesture. And it's Dave Seaman that cleared away downfield. 4 minutes of stoppage time played. Seaman will clear it away. Ian Wright's down there on the bench. It's away, and they look for Alan Smith. Apolloni heads it out of play, and Arsenal will settle for a throw-in 2 yards for the netball line. George Graham will go into history here tonight as the greatest ever Arsenal manager. In goes the throw by the goal. Rick Smith turns away from his man. Is Smith, can he finish? Its shot is blocked by Sensini. It's a corner to Arsenal in the dying seconds. We have 5 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. We've got 5 minutes of stoppage time in the second half. Alan Smith's shot blocked, only the second Arsenal have had on target in the game. They won't mind that. The one they had decisively on 20 minutes puts them 1-0 up. Short tap corner back up the line. The full-time whistle has blown. Arsenal have won the European Cup Winners' Cup. Parma, the holders, are beaten on the Danish Liberation Day. Arsenal have liberated the European Cup Winners' Cup from Parma. The silverware is Highbury. George Graham is the greatest manager in the history of the club, and Alan Smudger Smith wins it for the glorious Gunners. They only boomed once, and it was enough to shoot down the holders. A night for tears of joy and red and white banners to be waved away to my left-hand side. A night of shame for the Parma thugs who threw coins and missiles to my right. But a night of glory that will surpass it all. For Arsenal, with Tennant's Bills no longer with a difference. On capital goal, John Jensen is out there. Such an important role he played in this Cup Winners' Cup campaign. An injured, limping figure is out there as well. Martin Keown's out there. Ian Wright joins in the celebrations. Not for him a night, but for Parma, a fright, and Alan Smith wins the European Cup Winners' Cup for the glorious Gunners.
Well, it's a fantastic night. I'm just watching George Graham there. He looks as cool as a cucumber. Everybody else is jumping up and down and hugging each other. He's quietly going up to the Parma players and shaking their hand, and then to his own players, but well under control of himself, which is quite amazing under the circumstances. It was a really tough game tonight. They had to fight from the first minute to the last. They couldn't, and every player had to give it his best, and that's what they did. It was a unbelievable result, because this is an outstanding team, and everybody tells us that the Italian players get more technique than everyone else, but we've went through each round, they've come through this one, and now they've got the European Cup Winners' Cup in their hands.
It's a forest of red and white flags as the Arsenal fans wave them and celebrate. It's 1-0 to the Arsenal. You hear being belted out around the ground. There was an Italian fan outside earlier on who was asking, why do you sing 1-0 to the Arsenal? Why not 3-0? Now they know. Bye-bye Torino 1-0. Bye-bye PSG 1-0. Bye-bye Parma 1-0. Arsenal Cup Winners.
Parma players away in front of their fans fall to the ground in disbelief. That end of the ground is silent. Look at those Arsenal fans at the far end, absolutely delirious, and the Parma players know that they've been beaten by a side who had the bigger heart, by a side who battled and bounced back from everything the Italian team and their fans could throw at them, and Arsenal thoroughly deserve to be European Cup winners in 1994.
They follow the names of mighty English successes in Europe. Manchester United in '68 in the Champions Cup, Liverpool's great years and Nottingham Forest as well. Chelsea, of course, and Manchester City sit so strongly for us in the Cup Winners' Cup in years gone by. The Arsenal players sportingly move away to applaud the Parma fans to my right, and these are the genuine Parma fans who've stood all night and now applaud Arsenal's success, and that's a great sign to see, because there were one or two yobs in there who threw missiles, and I think you'll find their own found them out and turfed them out, because one or two of the Parma fans were clearly distressed and unhappy with the behaviour of just the idiotic, boozed up, beer-bellied, brainless, bare-chested few. Away on the right-hand side now, Arsenal go to applaud the Scandinavian supporters who've got tickets in the far side. They're changing shirts out there. Sensini swaps, Asprilla swaps with Nigel Winterburn, I think. There's Kevin Campbell with a red cap on and a Parma shirt. Who's he swapped his shirt for? He swapped with Faustino Asprilla. Now there's a shirt to have. Asprilla, oh look at Ian Wright. He's wearing a blue Gunners bobble hat down there. Tony Adams prepares to lead up the victorious troops then. Up will come Tony Adams any moment now. Behind him is David Seaman and Stephen Morrow, and there too is Nigel Winterburn and Lee Dixon in line, and Tony Adams moves forward. He's lifted the league twice, and the League Cup and the FA Cup, and Tony Adams moves forward and lifts now, takes the European Cup Winners' Cup, and Tony Adams lifts the cup to the fans, and Arsenal are crowned knockout kings of Europe in the city where the romantic fairy storyteller Hans Christian Andersen once riveted children and adults alike with his stories of fairies and magic. In this magical city, Arsenal have woven the spell, and the fairy tale of 1994 has a glorious happy ending on Capital Gold.
Well, there's so many tired bodies up there, Jonathan. I don't think I've ever seen an Arsenal team looking so whacked out as they did, but they all stayed on the pitch. They had cramp, they had everything. They were going down like nine pins, getting off in a stretcher, coming back on again. And Alan Smith especially must get a special mention. He was up there more or less on his own. Such an unselfish job, getting hit from behind all the time. Very few players to support him, but he kept at his game. He scored a magnificent goal. I thought he had a tremendous game tonight. I thought it was a marvellous team effort. Arsenal just having a good back four and a good goalkeeper. They've got a team who defends exceptionally well for each other, because you just can't have a back four. The whole team has got to do it.
John Jensen, look at this. An enormous roar goes up as he picks up the European Cup Winners' Cup. This will be the big roar of the night. It belongs to Ian Wright, the European Cup Winners' Cup, and you can hear the fans love that. He played no role tonight, but he still celebrates and moves forward and dances around and hugs the rest of the Arsenal players. Wife Debs is back at home expecting her first baby any day now, and she will be celebrating tonight with the Arsenal players as they dance a jig of delight. What an era this has been for that club. League champions twice, League Cup winners twice, FA Cup winners, and now winners of the Cup Winners' Cup. And little Tony Donnelly is out there as well. Yep. Tony Donnelly, who's Mr. Kit, Mr. Organisation, Mr. Everything behind the scenes at Arsenal. And Tony Donnelly, who packs it in at the end of this season. I'm sure Arsenal have won this cup every bit as much for you as for anyone else. Oh, he's been a marvellous man, Tony. He could write a book in the stories that he's got with all the players from my day and right up to the present day, and he's retiring in 2 weeks' time, and I'm sure he'll miss it very much, and he must be so happy tonight, like the players are. There's nothing quite like winning a cup. The emotion in it is unbelievable. My son's here tonight as well, and I'm sure he's really, really happy, and I hope he just doesn't drink too much when he's getting home tonight.